It's a mammoth 5A Division II semifinal matchup down in South Texas, old school style with hard charging running games and unrelenting defenses. Welcome to Waco, folks, for the 5A D2 semis between the Katy Tigers and Cibolo Steele. On one side, you do have Steele, a two-time state finalist, led by do-it-all athlete Jordan Stearns, a defensive back, a running back, a punt returner, and an unforgettable talent. And on the other side, one of the premier dynasties in Texas high school history, the Katy Tigers, winners of 6 state titles and arguably the most dominant team in Texas this year. It's a battle of unbeatens today in Waco for the 5A D2 semis. And a berth in the title game on the line, the Katy Tigers and the Steele Knights next on Fox Sports Southwest. Welcome to Waco, Texas, folks, at Floyd Casey Stadium for the 5A Division II state semifinals between Cibolo Steele and the Katy Tigers, two 14-0 teams butting heads and looking for a spot in the state title game. Hello, folks. I'm Travis Stewart with Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, joined by DFW legend and former UNT quarterback LaDarren McClain. And, folks, two titans of high school football clashing today. LaDarren, tell me a little bit about this matchup.
Well, both of these teams have done it eerily similar. They both play a stifling style of defense and a smash-mouth running game. And really, it may come down to which team can blink first. That may decide this contest at the end.
And no blinking in the bracket so far for either teams as we take a look at their playoff histories. Here is regions 1, 2, 3, and 4. Katy and Cibolo Steele at the bottom. You can see Cedar Hill and Westlake. They're actually kicking off just across the way here in Waco. About the same time, the winner here will see the winner of Cedar Hill in Westlake at Cowboy Stadium next week on Saturday at 4 p.m. LaDarren, tell me about the key player for Katy today.
Well, if you look at the running style and what they do, Adam Taylor is the focus. Coming off an injury from last season, he has come back and asserted himself as the dominant back. Look for him to get many touches, if almost.
And from one running back to another, how about Cibolo Steele and Justin Stockton?
Well, if you look at Stockton, if there's a home run hitter in this offense, it is Stockton. And he had a great performance coming off being sick last week with 2 touchdowns. He is going to be effective running and out of the passing game.
There's no sick in the high school playoffs, LD. Let's go down to Greg Tepper to tell us a little more about these two head coaches.
Well, I tell you what, we've got 2 great teams. We know that. But I think the coaching competition might be even better. You look over at Katy with Coach Gary Joseph. I talked to him before the game, and he said, I'm a little bit nervous. Not necessarily for his team or how it's going to come out. He just wants his team to come out and play the best game they can. And you look at that record, he's done that more often than not. On the other side, you've got Mike Jinks, the coach for Cibolo Steele, the only coach the Knights have ever had, and really the only coach they've ever needed. He's led them to 2 straight state title games, looking to get them back to a 3rd. But, guys, I don't know if you could search the entire state and find a better coaching matchup than this.
Well, we did, Greg, and this is where we ended up. Katy and Steele, one of the best matchups in Texas this weekend. 2 premier head coaches, 2 great talents in the backfield, and 2 excellent football teams. When we come up next, the kickoff for the 5A D2 state semifinals between Cibolo Steele and Katy Tigers. Today's UIL Championship Series game is presented by State Farm. Visit texas.statefarm.com or text FAN UP to 35350 to enter the FAN UP Truck Sweepstakes. By your Texas Ford dealers and the Ford F-Series, the best in Texas. And to DQ for the best tasting treats, eats, and drinks in Texas. DQ just tastes better.
Ford has the freshest lineup in America, so we're at the mall. Celebrating. It's an Explorer. It seats 7. In fact, I'll show you the back row.
Other cars in its class wish they had this.
Very fancy.
Definitely a lot more space than I have in the car right now.
Best in class for mileage up to 28 on the highway.
Okay.
Navigation, movie times can be accessed vocally.
It's a smart car.
You're smarter than me.
During the year-end celebration, get a 2013 Explorer with up to $2,500 cash back. Now at your best in Texas Ford dealer.
This would be great for baby number 2.
Surprise.
Yeah, I'm married. Does it matter? You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm.
Call your local State Farm agent or visit us at texas.statefarm.com.
Get to a better state.
We Texans love our chicken fried steak, and nobody does chicken fried steak like DQ for just $5. Right now, you can get our legendary Dude Chicken Fried Steak Sandwich Combo or the DQ Steak Finger Country Basket for only $5. That's a mouth-watering deal any Texan can appreciate. For the best treats, eats, drinks, and value in Texas, DQ just tastes better.
Welcome to Waco, folks. The 5A D2 semifinals just seconds away. The Katy Tigers and Cibolo Steele both coming in at 14-0. Well, Darren, we've talked a lot about these two teams already. They've got some great running backs at their disposal. But first, the national anthem and the presentation of the colors here at Floyd Casey Stadium.
The American flag guard is Cadet Jonathan Spring, and the Texas flag guard is Cadet Raver Perez Fidalgo. And now our national anthem, performed by the Cibolo Steele Band.
All right, LD, let's take a look at the keys to the game today.
Well, if you look at what the Tigers need to do, tailor-made. That's their star running back, Adam Taylor. He needs to have the bulk of the carry tonight for this offense to maintain their success. Defense domination. This team has completely dominated opponents the entire season long, taking away something that they like to do and really making them one-dimensional. And they set the tone. Last week against Cypress Ridge, they went 49-0 in the first half. That's what they need to get off to. And if you look at what the Steel Knights need to do, hey, have a stock in Stockton, their tailback, their game breaker, get him off started early in the game as well. The pass efficiency. This team likes to run the ball an awful lot, but if they can be efficient in the passing game when it's there, they can make this defense hurt and weather the storm. It's kind of the offset of set the tone there for the Tigers. If they can weather the first half of this contest and be in the third and fourth quarter, they've got a chance to come out with a win.
Well, there may be a storm on the field today, but it's beautiful weather out here in Waco. A brisk 71 degrees, the sun is shining, and Cibolo Steele has won the toss, and they have elected to receive. They will trot out Jordan Stearns, a return extraordinaire, out to their own 4-yard line, joined by Justin Stockton, two of the most elite offensive players on the team. Stearns has been a safety in the past, but he can return the ball a little bit too if you give him a chance.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the Tigers are going to play that. Are they going to kick it deep? Are they going to do what we typically have seen teams do to take their players away, is the pooch kick.
Manny Mendoza steps back to kick for Katy. These Tigers aren't scared of anyone, LD. That's why they're 14-0 on the season. I bet you we're going to see one go deep right to these star players, and Katy's going to look to make a statement right away. The kickoff is a pooch. LD gets paid the big bucks for a reason. That is fair caught by Jalen Harris, the sophomore running back for Cibolo Steele. And so Steele will get a 1st and 10 against this Katy defense as we take a look at Steele quarterback Braylon McCollum now, a senior in his first year as a starter. I don't know if one-year wonder is applicable, but he does have some wondrous ability, including a big arm downfield. And LD, you are marveling at that arm strength in the pregame.
Well, you know I'm a quarterback junkie, and I watch quarterbacks in their warm-ups, their demeanor, how they're going to come out and play. And when you watch McCollum, the way he snaps his passes off, now he may not get 20 attempts today, but the 9 to 10 attempts they do, he's got to be efficient doing so.
They will go to the ground game first. They give it to the fullback, and Katy's there right away for a 1-yard gain. The Katy defense comes swarming in to force a 2nd and 9 as we take a look at the Steele offensive lineup. It's Marcus Weiler, Justin Roberts, Kevin Lavelle, Deontay Noel, and Cameron Jackson up front. Matt Maley and Thaddeus Thompson on the outside. Tight end Matt Moen's a key guy at the end of the line. And LG Williams, Justin Stockton in the backfield behind McCollum under center. But it is McCollum in the shotgun this time, 4 wide on 2nd and 9. will hand it off to Stockton, and once again, the Katy defense steps up. Let's take a look at that Tiger defense while we're talking about it as we head to about a 36. It's Matt Diamond, the star Oklahoma-bound defensive end, at end, Cody Gessler in the middle, and then Tim Wilkerson on the other side of the line. Colton Asham, Jake Blomstrom, Cole Berry, and Carson Strickler, the 4 linebackers in the 3-4. Chris Harper, Quinn Atwood, Tanner Ebrecht, and Kyle Folks. And the secondary, don't forget Isaiah Brown. He's got 10 interceptions on the year, and he's going to be looking for a ball hawk opportunity on this big 3rd down and 6. McCollum sends a man in motion. He stops him. It's a play action. McCollum looks to the left, right in. He's got a man. That's number 10, LG Williams, the fullback coming out of the backfield. And that is going to be enough for a 1st down, a 7-yard gain. And LG, you talked about weathering the storm. Well, the Avalanche hasn't fallen yet. Steele lands a punch right in Katy's face.
Well, Travis, this is what you got to do. You've got to mix up the play calling. You've got a defense that knows that Steele wants to run that stretch play. So what do you do to offset that? You make it the quarterback out the back door. He's got a wide open Williams in the flat. Good execution there. That's a big 1st down, even though it is only the 1st one.
McCollum, not a real running threat, but he is mobile. This time they will go to Jordan Stearns in the backfield, and Stearns, a fascinating story as he wrestles forward for about 3 yards. A fighter, a secondary guy, a safety, a running back. He's been a running back in the past 2 years.
Well, if you've got a natural talent like Stearns, you just find places to get him on the football field, and we saw what he could do last week. 14 carries, 93 yards, and chipping in 2 touchdowns. It's just a dynamic talent. And it's going to be tough sledding today, Travis, for these Steel Knights. Offense will be running the ball. We're going up against arguably the best front 7 that we've seen in a long time out of this 3-4 base defense.
It is a 3-4 here, 3 down linemen, and the linebackers prowling behind him. McCollum looks out to the right again, and that one is through the hands of Jalen Harris. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 now at the Steele 37-yard line, and that's not the place you want to be against Katy because they prey on passing offenses. Their interception totals are through the charts. Quinn Atwood and Isaiah Brown combined for 18 interceptions on the year.
Well, that's something we need to monitor throughout the entire game. And it's going to be important for Steele on 1st and 2nd down to stay ahead of the chains so they don't have these 3rd and longs. 3rd and 7 is not that long, but still, you don't want to be in a situation where it's a passing down.
It feels long against Katy. It is a passing down. McCollum's under trouble. Leads a man, and he's just going to throw this one away, but we've got a flag coming in the middle of the field, multiple flags. Laundry on the field, and the refs are going to convene to sort this one out. And if this is a penalty against Katy, that's got to hurt you because it would have gotten Steele off the field. That's going to be an illegal man downfield against Steele. And that's going to be trouble. Penalties against Katy, that'll kill you. And Steele's going to have to trot out the punt team as Katy's going to turn this one down.
Yeah, that's not a very effective opening series. They did pick up a 1st down. You know how Katy's base defense is going to play your base offense. Now you go back, regroup on the sideline, talk about it, and try to get your wrinkles involved in the offense.
McCollum's going to step back to punt. Is the team's punter. Katy has got 2 returners in the backfield, but they will not need them. This is a short punt, and that's going to go out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. Nope, the ref's going to keep walking it. Ooh, this was a very short punt. They're going to call this at the 46 of Cibolo Steele. So Katy getting into great field position off the 9-yard punt by Steele.
Well, this is why they're so good defensively. They force the team to not necessarily get a 3 and out, but they force a punting situation. Special teams come up. You give this offense that has been dominating the entire season long.
And Kylie Huddleston will step in under center. A strong year for the junior, 1,400 yards and 19 touchdowns, but it's Adam Taylor, the running back, who dots the I, who's been the principal weapon so far. That is where they go, and the Steele defense takes its turn to answer. They step up on a big 1-yard gain. It is Josh Malin, the junior defensive end, who's made a strong push throughout the year in the Steele rotation. He comes up with the big tackle and puts Katy in a 2nd and 9.
Well, Travis, let's make no bones about it. This is a very good Knight defense as well, holding their opponents on the season to 137 yards rushing. Now for the playoffs, that's about 82 yards they've allowed opponents here per game. And so that's a good group. You've got 2 strengths going up against one another in this game. It's a matter of efficiency and executing the offense.
The Steele showed the blitz on the right side, but they came with heat on the left. And and Taylor is dragged down at the Steele 45-yard line. No gain on the play. Right after Katy forced Steele into a 3rd and long, the Knights have returned the favor. 3rd and 9 now for the Katy Tigers on their first drive of the game.
You look at these defenses, it's almost seeing yourself in practice because they go against the same offense. In practice is what they're going to see today. And that's why these defenses have a distinct advantage thus far, jumping to the point of contact, being more aggressive, and playing behind the line of scrimmage. That's so key to that.
Katy's going to set up in the strong eye and be the wide receiver in motion. And they will go back to the ground game, and there's Taylor. Picks up big yardage down to the Steele 30-yard line, a 15-yard run. Katy has a first down, and that shows you how dangerous this offense can be, LD. You're in a 3rd and 9. That's pass all the way, right? No. They go to Taylor up the middle between the guards.
Yeah, you got to go up front to your big guys who's got it done for you all season long. 4 seniors on the offensive line, Travis. 1 junior, Kyle Miller, number 65, number 79, Javier Lopez. They did a great job of a combination block that opened up the right center of that defensive front.
And Taylor, the school's single-season record holder for rushing touchdowns in 36. He's dragged down after a 3-yard loss along the right side as we take a look at the Katy offense. It's Corey May, Vince Skrabonic, John Kalog, Kyle Miller, and Javier Lopez, the returning all-district pick along the offensive line. Garrett Dragoo and Kyle Folks, the nationally known sprinter out wide. Sloan Spiller at tight end, Alex Fisher at fullback. And there's Mr. Taylor, Adam Taylor, lined up right behind Kylie Huddleston. And they've got Taylor dotted in the eye once again. Huddleston will check the defense. That looks like a busted play, and Steele is right there on top of it. Huddleston dragged down for a loss by Carl Cunningham, the junior cornerback, 158-pounder, but he played big there, got in the backfield. As we take a look at this Steele defense, Matthew Simmons at defensive end, the partner to Josh Mail on the other side. They will flank Corey Stott and Mason Martinez. At linebacker, it's Garth Tubbs, Jalen Maddox, and Justin Garcia. And then John Burton, Carl Cunningham at the corner spots, Jordan Stearns at strong safety, and Tyler Petoskey at the free safety spot. As Katy now sets up for a 3rd and 11. Huddleston on the straight drop. He looked deep on the left side, but it wasn't there, and he's going to scramble. But Steele's on top of it, and they will drag him down about 4 yards short. A 7-yard gain for Huddleston on the keeper. And now LD decision time. You're in a 4th and moderate. Is this a go for it, or you kick a field goal?
Well, I think you have to try to get the points where you can get them. But if I know Katy, in their history, hey, they don't believe in trying to get the cheap little points. We're trying to go put 6 points in the end zone and take advantage of this field position that you've got.
Go for broke, huh?
Go for broke. And it's just a matter of what play call that you like to do. Do you spread them out? Do you get the shotgun, let Huddleston pass the ball downfield?
And they're in the Wildcat with Huddleston set outside. It's a direct snap to Taylor. He's looking for space. It's Rodney Anderson, actually. He's going to break a tackle and worm his way through for a first down on a 10-yard gain for Rodney Anderson on the Wildcat keeper. And Katy will have a first down at the Steele 14-yard line as we tick underneath 6 minutes to go in the first quarter.
And the Knights have this play defense pretty well. And if you look at the outside, Garth Tubbs, number 45, did a good job maintaining outside contain, but he doesn't make the play. And when the team came in, the rest of his teammates couldn't make the tackle. It's a good run there by Rodney Anderson. A good individual effort picking up a big 4th down.
That should put Katy in perspective for you. 4th and short, they go to a sophomore running back in the Wildcat. That's how deep they are in the backfield. But now it's Taylor again in the I formation. This is a play fake. Huddleston's looking for a man. Throws across the middle. That one's incomplete. He's looking for Logan Audie there. That ball comes up short. Steele can force him into a 2nd and 10.
Well, he got away with one there. The one thing you cannot do in the quarterback position is throw late and late across the middle of the defense, because easily right there, Jalen Maddox could have made a step on it, almost makes a play on this football, but I like the play call. You hit him with the run. You hit him with the run. Get your quarterback out on the edge off the play action pass. Pretty sure they'll come back to that later on.
Get a notebook. Man, LD was a pretty good quarterback. You'll learn something today if you listen.
Easy, man.
This handoff up the middle. That's going to be a 5-yard gain. Brings up about a 2nd and 5 to a 2nd and 6. We're in that range. Yeah. Katy once again in a 3rd and medium.
Travis, I think you and I, we talked about before this game, this is going to be a mano-a-mano type of football contest. There's not going to be any kind of trick plays going on. It's going to be, hey, I'm going to run it here, and I hope your guys can stop me from doing that. And we're kind of seeing that here from Katy here. They're doing exactly what they want to do, get in different formations at times, but do what they do best and run straight at you.
And that is another run straight at the Steele defense, but they will pile up the ball carrier short by a yard. That's going to bring up a 4th and 1. That was Taylor along the left side, but submarined by a stout Steele defense. For the second time on their first drive, Katy's got to make a decision.
Well, I think it's clear. You've come this far. Your guys up front seem to be working together. They're hungry, and offensive linemen like to fire off the ball in one block, and you've got less than a yard. I don't even know if it's even the length of a football here to pick it up. Let your guys eat and go get it.
Yeah, if there's one way to describe either of these offenses, it's not subtle. It's a lot of straight ahead, and they're in the full house formation now. A lot of beef in the backfield. Man by Taylor, and that's where they go on the toss on the right side. He's got a block, and he's got a touchdown. Taylor into the end zone from 5 yards out, and Katy's on the board first, 6-0, behind Adam Taylor's 37th rushing touchdown of the year, adding to his school record total.
One of the biggest offensive lines in the state and very athletic. The toss sweep, and he gets a good block by number 42, Alex Fisher, on the toss sweep. And even the quarterback gets in there on the convoy, getting Taylor into the end zone. Our football at its best, Travis. Get load of it today because it's going to be a dose of it.
PAT is up and good. Katy takes the 7-0 lead at the 4:12 mark in the first quarter here in Waco. When we come back, Steele looks to respond in the 5A Division II state semifinals.
Bill Dickinson here with Capital Kia. In Caroline, during this holiday season, I'm going to make the monthly car payments for the entire year of 2013 for one lucky winner.
You can register to win at Capital Kia, 183 in Anderson Mills, just in front of the water tower, or you can shop us online at capitalkia.net.
Caroline, they can also drive a brand new Kia Optima for only $189 per month.
One lucky winner, all 12 payments, regardless if you bought from us.
That's right. Remember, if I can't beat a new car Kia deal in Texas, I'm just going to give it to you.
Crockpot, Sarah Johnson, Denver. Check. Talking Fish, Eric Smith, Tampa. Check.
Man, give them what they really want. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff.
Kenwood 1200 12-inch subs. List 180, just 49 bucks. Get 2 Rockford 5K 12-inch subs with sub box. List 300, just 99 bucks. Sony in-dash screen with built-in navigation. List 900, just $4.99.
I got what I wanted. You can too.
All stores open this Sunday. Everything's on sale.
Go Scoreboard Live tonight at midnight on Fox Sports Southwest.
Welcome back to Waco as we take a look at Katy running back Adam Taylor, who just bulldozed his way into the end zone for his 37th rushing touchdown of the year. Taylor coming off a frustrating junior season, LD, where he missed his entire year on a torn ACL. Boy, howdy, has he made up for lost time as a senior.
Oh, he's been impressive, averaging over 160 yards a game. Coming into today's contest, 4 touchdowns, 169 yards rushing last week for the win over Cypress Ranch. He looks as good as ever. I mean, just effectiveness in his running game, the power running, and then the speed to bounce it to the outside and complete that.
Manny Mendoza with another pooch kick. Steele will step up and fair catch it at about their 33-yard line. So far, Katy not willing to send the ball deep to Jordan Stearns. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take the field behind running back Justin Stockton, down 7-0.
Ford has the freshest lineup.
And it's Braylon McCollum now set up in the pistol. But on 1st and 10, they will hand off to Justin Stockton. And the fighting Katy Tiger defense is right there. Cody Gessler, the nose tackle, in on the action. No gain on the play. And that brings up 2nd and 10.
Well, Gessler has been a really nice cog in the middle of that defense. And really, Travis, when you play this 3-4 defense, you've got to have 3 guys up there that are men. Men that take on blockers because they're going to take on the double teams that free up the linebackers in the 3-4 defense to clean up. At that time, Gessler took it upon himself to go make the play in the backfield.
Yeah, in the 3-4 defense, your 3 defensive linemen are about as key as you're going to find anywhere on the defense. And now in 2nd and 9, it's McCollum in the shotgun. They're going to play fake again, but the defense is all over him. He's looking to throw it away, and he will, just barely. as number 4, Isaiah Brown, was closing in on perhaps his 11th interception of the day. Matt Diamond, the defensive end, headed out to Oklahoma, closing in on McCollum 4 behind. Diamond, he was a tight end and a defensive end last year, but he puts his speed and strength on display here, LB.
Well, McCollum wants to go outside to Matthew Mell, number 20, but Mell takes a little bit too long coming out of his break. When you've got a quarterback that is under rest, you've got to understand where you are in the game. You've got to get in and out of your breaks in the passing game to give your quarterback a chance.
There's an adjustment period against this Katy defense. They are as fast as they come. Now it's McCollum again on the straight and drop. The blitz up the middle. The offensive line picks it up, but the ball's over the wide receiver's head. And that's going to bring up now a 4th and 9. It's still 3rd and 9, I apologize. And Steele, I think they've got to throw a 4th and 9. Steele looks like going to be punting again here. McCollum in there whenever you drop the quarterback back. Always got that option, I guess, to throw or punt. But on their own 34-yard line, probably going to send this one away.
Well, they had a play on there. They had a good one. Thaddeus Thompson ran a pretty good route to the outside. McCollum just missed it. And that's something that you'd have to put in your memory bank and say, hey, come back to that later on if you get that same defensive style of look there.
Katy drops back Kyle Fulks looking to pick up the punt return. 26, Rodney Anderson joins him back there. This ball will sail out of bounds. Nope, that's going to bounce back in bounds. Anderson will field it. About the 26, and the Steele special teams unit is all over. That's impressive stuff from the Steele special teams unit because both Fulks and Rodney Anderson are extremely dangerous in the open field. We've already mentioned Fulks. He finished 2nd in the state track meet last year in the 100 meters. Rodney Anderson's already returned more than 1 punt for a touchdown this year.
And you're looking at Rodney Anderson, a freshman, over 1,100 yards rushing a year ago and 14 touchdowns. Could very well be the featured back had it not been for a healthy Adam Taylor coming back that reasserted himself as the big dog back there in the backfield. Or I should say big cat.
And they will go to Taylor on the short toss to the left. Good blocks, and he'll stretch out about the Katy 35-yard line. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 8. They've gone to Taylor early in offense day, and you mentioned Anderson last year as a freshman. I should tell you just how much they think of Rodney Anderson. The Katy program rarely, if ever, turned a freshman anywhere in the backfield, but Anderson, a 1,000-yard rusher a season ago.
It just goes to say that the running back future there for the Katy Tigers is awfully bright. A young Anderson there for at least 3 more years to come there. You know, certainly if he can stay healthy and keep his focus and play like he's been playing.
And it's Taylor again, runs through an arm tackle. He'll stretch out to the 40-yard line. And an easy 1st down, a gain of 5 on the play. This is where Katy, I think, is the most dangerous, LB. It's not always about big plays down the field and 4 wide. It's this slow and steady grind, this beat-you-up run game, and the attrition factor as the game drags on.
Well, I've always attributed that these kids have come up in one system, and that's the system that we're seeing here today. From the 8th grade through 9th grade, junior high, now to varsity, these kids have owned this offense, and they know it frontwards and backwards, and it makes executing the offense that much easier.
There is offensive execution at its best. A big run for number 42, a 15-yard run for Alex Fisher, the fullback, the senior. For Katy, they can spread the love around in the backfield, and he'll earn the Tigers a 1st down at the Steele 45-yard line.
Well, they throw him a bone every once in a while. That's on his 30th carry of the season. He does have 4 touchdowns on the season, but mainly known as the blocker for the running back duo back there of Taylor and Anderson.
So far, we've seen a little bit of everybody in the backfield from Katy. It's been Huddleston, Taylor, Anderson, even the fullback now. This time, Huddleston on the play fake. He's looking deep. He's got 2 men open, and that ball is overthrown on Rodney Anderson. That will bring up a missed opportunity. Fulks was also open in the middle of the field. That ball just floated on Huddleston a little bit.
Yeah, it was pretty much take your pick there out of that play-action pass. A well-designed play called there by the Tigers offense. And, you know, you and I talked about that. The way they run the ball so well, the play-action pass could be deadly. You've got to capitalize on the plays when they're there. He didn't do it there.
So a 2nd and 10 down for Katy as Huddleston steps under center. They'll toss along the right side. It's Taylor. Will wrestle his way forward for about 6 yards as we check in with Greg Tepper now on the sidelines.
Well, guys, you know, you mentioned Rodney Anderson. He has been a heck of a player. And you mentioned Coach Joseph's reluctance to add a freshman onto the field. But I'll tell you what, he made a pretty good impression. Last year, he scored on his very first touch as a varsity player. So that tells you the kind of dynamic player that the Tigers have now and for the future.
For other 5A D2 fans out there, Westlake and Cedar Hill are now tied at 7 across the way here in Waco as Katy steps into a 3rd and 4. It's Taylor again, heavy running up along the left side. That's a gain of 5 yards. That'll get Katy another first down at the Steele 33-yard line.
Well, when you watch Taylor run, Travis, he kind of puts you in mind of the running back of the University of Wisconsin, Monty Ball, and a little bit of Adrian Peterson. He has a little bit of an upright running style.
That was a lofty comparison.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, in the frame of what you put him in mind, obviously I'm not comparing the two in the sense of accomplishments, but from the standpoint of the running styles, he has that mold and can develop into a pretty solid player at the next level.
2 wide receivers out now, and they'll go to the short toss to Taylor again. He's going to break a tackle and work his way down for about 8 yards. Down to the Steele 25-yard line to bring up a 2nd and 2. And at this pace, Adam Taylor is going to be on track for upwards of 30-40 carries today. But this is just how the Tiger offense operates. Huddleston's only thrown, I believe, 88 completions all year, 81 completions all year long. Do the math. It's not a whole heck of a lot.
It's not a whole lot at all. And, you know, really, you almost want to say the quarterback is kind of a bus driver, you know, kind of a manager of the game. And that's all you need, especially when you have this kid here, your shot, Taylor, and you've got Anderson right behind him where they don't lose anything when he comes into the game. You want a quarterback when the plays are there. Hey, 1 or 2 passes, we're going to take downfield to take a shot. Underneath dinks and dunks, take it, keep the defense off balance.
And Huddleston won this job in fall camp. 3 other candidates for the job, one of which was Quinn Atwood, who now stars in the secondary. And Huddleston, a fine baseball player, missed a good portion of spring as Katy reached deep into the postseason on the diamond. But he did win the job, and as a junior, as you said, not always spectacular, but he's always answered the bell when Katy's needed him to. Only played a couple close games this year, but in both of those, against A-Leaf Taylor and Steeple Ranch, Huddleston was very good.
It's so refreshing to watch both these teams actually to get back to the old school style of football. 3 yards in a cloud of dust, play action pass over the top. And both these teams are slugging it out here early in this first half.
So Huddleston will send Anderson in motion. They will fake to Taylor, and Anderson is where they go, wide open in the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Rodney Anderson, a 25-yard touchdown catch in the end zone on a perfect play fake from Kylie Huddleston. The run game opens up those opportunities, and Anderson answered the bell. They don't always throw the ball to running backs. Rarely go to Adam Taylor. When they do throw to a back, Anderson, who they can frequently split out wide, is a popular target. He was behind Carl Cunningham from Steele. He was a little in on the offensive play call. PAT is up and good. And Katy moves out to a 14-0 lead with 24 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
Well, when you look at this play, it's set up pretty well. And, you know, they've had success with the stretch play, but this time, quarterback pulls it back, keeps on his route, and all the while, number 7, Carl Cunningham, is looking in the backfield as a run supporter, forgetting where Anderson is, and he gets in behind him with the over-the-top pass.
So as we're talking about Huddleston, he shows that he may not be able to throw the ball all that often because of the run game, but when you do with Katy, it's often downfield. It's often with a big play on the line. You have to make those.
Well, I think he's the perfect fit for this offense. Now, I honestly believe you put Huddleston in a spread offense, I think he could do well. I think he has the tools, obviously with the baseball mentality with that arm, he can throw the football. Let's make no question about that. But for this offense, he is a perfect fit of managing the game and taking your shots downfield when they're there.
Benny Mendoza will line up to kick off again. Once again, Steele will trot out Jordan Stearns and Justin Stockton to return the kick. And against maybe any other team, LD, 14-0 in the first quarter, while not ideal, certainly survivable. But the way Katy has snowballed its opponents as of late, you have to cast a wary eye at that scoreboard if you're a Steele fan and wonder what the rest of this game will hold.
Well, you know what? Last week, Cypress Ridge felt the same way. And they got behind 49-0 in that first half. 21 in the first, 28 in the second quarter. You can't do that against this monster of the Katy Tigers. They will not let up, and they have no qualms about it, about trying to run the ball down your throat until there are triple zeros left on that clock.
I stepped out to do a household chore at the beginning of the Katy game last week. They were up 21-0 within 5 minutes of the first quarter. I missed the entire first 3 touchdowns out doing a simple household chore. That's how fast I move the football. Mendoza again will kick this one a little bit short. We fielded over the head by the Steele up back, and he's going to take it up to about his own 27-yard line, and that's where Steele will start its next drive from there, a 12-yard return. As we said, a critical moment for Steele here. And LD, you were a good quarterback. At what point does the quarterback know a lot of this pressure is going to shift to him if the run game starts to fall out of the picture, if you fall behind by much more?
Well, you have to think in terms of a quarterback. You have to be the calming force for the offense. They have to look for you as a calming sense of, hey guys, it's only 14 points. Hey, it's no big deal. This is the squad, act like it's practice. And at some point in time, you're going to have to make a big-time play, a big-time throw. You got to be ready to do it when it's there.
We'll go to Stockton, and he has to work extremely hard just to lose a yard as Cody Gessler, the big nose tackle for Katy, will squeak his way in there again for his second big tackle of the day. That's going to take us to the end of the first quarter as the Katy Tigers up right now 14-0 over the Cibolo Steele Knights. Steele's not out of this one yet, folks. They're undefeated for a reason. This Katy Tiger squad living up to the heavy hype in the 5A Division II state semifinals in Waco at Floyd Casey Stadium with a state title berth on the line.
Right now, Ford has the
and the Knights offense will open up with 4 wide receivers and McCollum set in the shotgun. Oh, and Diamond deflects it. It's picked off and intercepted. Matt Diamond with a stiff arm into the end zone. Matt Diamond, a 16-yard interception return for a touchdown. He came off the edge, knocked that ball up in the air, read it like the tight end he was last year, and the big boy was gone to the end zone. It's 20-0. Katy over Cibolo Steele. Woo! He sure can't move in a hurry.
I know. Well, this is the 30th interception for the team this season. And look at the big fella, tipped himself the ball. That's his own tip drill. Gets a good stiff arm. Hey, I tell you what, those big boys love the chance to get their hands on the ball and get into the end zone. Well, they'll never let it live down by any means, but outstanding play by the defensive front there by the Tigers.
PAT is up and good to make it 21-0. And I'd say that Matt Diamond will remember that moment for a long time. But he already had 30 tackles for loss coming into the game. He's a double-digit sack guy. He's going to Oklahoma. He's got a lot of happy memories already in his Katy football career.
I tell you what, there's a lot of football left to be played in this game. And I tell you what, the Knights, if they cannot figure out how to block not only Diamond, but Gessler has been in there. We haven't talked too much about Wilkerson, but if they can't block these 3 guys up front, it is going to be a long afternoon offensively for the Knights.
Now, we know Cibolo Steele comes in at 14-0. They've dominated a lot of opponents this year, too. They've been every bit Katy's equal in a lot of metrics, and they are a fine football team who's been to 2 straight 5A Division II title games. They're one of the best in the business. So when you get onto the sideline, what exactly do you tell this team when you look at this Katy defense as we see a quick recap of what they've done already? We talked about the defensive line. There's Diamond closing in on McCollum. As that ball's thrown away, Gessler comes in for a big tackle for a loss, and then here's the interception and return for a touchdown by Diamond again. So, LD, what do you tell this Steele team on the sideline? What words can Mike Jinks give to them to settle them out with?
Well, you've got to tell them, hey, are you going to be able to meet the challenge? Because right now, the team in the white jerseys with the red numbers, they came to play today. They want to go to the next level of the state championship. You need to challenge your players. Hey, we've done what we've done all season long. We haven't been down 21-0 the entire season. In fact, the last 3 seasons, we haven't even been in this situation. And now you have to come out here and meet the challenge and take it literally. I know it's cliche. One play at a time is an offense.
Can't get ahead of yourself against this Katy offense and defense. And the kick return, he's going to step out at about the 38-yard line, but a great return from Cibolo Steele. And now the Knights take the field. It's a 17-yard return. And remember, folks, this Steele team, as the Steele audience rises to its feet, giving them motivation, this Steele team has won 42 of its last 45 3 games. Let's go down to Greg Tepper with a little more information. Greg?
But you guys mentioned that they might be in the danger zone because you look at what Katy's done this year. They've won 9 games by 40 or more points. So when they get on you quick, and they don't let you up.
And Steele will go to the fullback on this carry. Nothing says strength and stability like a fullback, right? He's going to be tackled after about a 5-yard gain, bringing up a 2nd and 5. As L.G. Williams gives him a little grounding pound in between the guards.
Travis, I really think offensively, first down is their best down to pass the football. And you see Williams there, his numbers on the season been very effective at the fullback position. But I think they have to mix it up a little bit. Throw on first down to give you more of an opportunity for 2nd and 3rd down.
Wilson Stockton along the right side, and there is just nothing there. Garth Tubbs, the outside linebacker, Matt Diamond in the area for Katy. On about a 2-yard gain for Cibolo Steele, bringing up a 3rd and 4. And if first down's the best down to throw the ball, 3rd down maybe the down they have to throw the ball.
Yeah, and you know what? If you and I know that, then you know the guys on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage know it as well. And that's when you can pin your ears and get back there and put pressure on the quarterback. Definitely need to watch out for number 94 diving there.
Steele has 12 plays for just 20 yards, and Stockton weaseling his way up to about the 48-yard line. They're going to mark it right at the 48, but we've got flags down on the field, and this would be disheartening for Steele if the first down gets pulled back because of a penalty. It is a personal foul. Face mask on Steele. Uncommon call to see a face mask on the offense. That's going to push Steele well back here. It's going to put them in a bad position against a Katy defense that can smell a little bit of blood in the water.
Yeah, and a certain passing situation here for the offense, and they just cannot get themselves going here offensively. You can't get out of their own way, so to speak, and really tough. And I've really been impressed with the defensive front 7 for Katy in the sense that I've seen a lot of football teams this year. The first time I've got to see the Tigers play, and the one thing that stands out is their energy level, their motivation to get to the ball carrier as a cohesive unit. And when they get there, the player goes down. There's no extra yards involved. It is a quick tackle and down.
That's going to bring it a short 3rd and 19. Steele's going to send 2 men out wide. Colum is going to throw this one. A little hitch route to the outside, and a great catch by Matt Maley. He's going to pick up a good chunk of the penalty yards. That's 11 yards in the gain to the left side. But that's still going to leave Steele short by about 8 yards. The Knights are going to have to punt again.
Yeah, that play there is going to be there today because these quarterbacks are not really being pressured by anything going deep, so they're going to play a little bit loose. They're going to give you that 8 to 10-yard curl route or outside route to the sideline. That play is there on first down, and I think if they attack like that, it'll loosen up this defensive front.
We have a timeout now. Some teams are going to talk it over before McCollum sends away his 3rd punt of the afternoon. So, LD, we'd obviously heard about Katy and what they've done to so many teams this year. As Greg mentioned, how many games they've won by 40-plus and what have you. How so far does this team live up to the billing that you had heard coming in?
Well, I think from a execution standpoint, I think they're as good as it gets. And as far as attention to details, the little things, a little bit of the receivers blocking downfield on offense, you know, the quarterback carrying out play fakes, the offensive lineman getting in excellent position where they're not getting caught for a hole, and then defensively, by impressive as you can come as a team playing 11 players doing their 111.
And here's the playoff run that Katy's been through so far. They set a school record for points in a single game and by district against Westbury with a 77-7 win. Beat Langham Creek next week, 49-0. Langham Creek, a high-scoring offense. LaPorte, 55-10. And then last week over Cy Ranch.
Well, they made amends with that LaPorte game. That's the team that knocked them out a year ago. 9-7 of all the scores.
McCollum gets a good punt here, and Katy will call for a fair catch at their own 25-yard line. We'll head to a break with the Tigers up 21-0, looking every bit like a 14-0 state title favorite in 5A.
Dude, check out that pile of gifts. What do I spy with my sweet...
Up to a 21-0 lead over Cibolo Steele at the 9:46 mark of the 2nd quarter. And this is a key opportunity on 1st and 10 for the Steele star defensive ends, Matt Simmons and Josh Malin, to step up and find a tackle in the backfield. As Katy will toss outside to Rodney Anderson. He'll make a man miss. Good still snowed under by Garth Tubbs coming in on the outside. For a tackle and a gain of about 5 to bring up a 2nd and 5 for the Katy Tigers.
Well, they have it defense well here, Travis. Watch number 7 fly in here. And that's just a great block there by Alex Fisher, number 42. You can't defend it any better to turn the ball carrier back into the inside. But you forget, these are outstanding ball carriers. They don't need a whole lot of great blocking up front. They have the ability to get upfield and still be effective.
Steele defense very talented, arguably the most talented unit in all of Region 4. This is one of the best defensive Steele has had, and they put it on full display there, dragging down Anderson for no gain on the play, bringing up a 3rd and 5. So with the Knights' backs against the wall on an incredibly key drive early in the 2nd quarter, so far the linebackers have stepped up to the billing at this key opportunity.
When you talk about this Steele defense and how well they played the entire season, just think of yards per carry. In this playoffs, they've only allowed 2.5 yards per carry in the playoff games coming into today. Now, they came up against a very tough offensive running team. They had to get back to that if they're going to give their offense a chance.
5 men with their hands on the ground for Steele, and that pass is behind the fullback and incomplete. And the Steele Knights defense answers the bell. They force a stop, but we do have a man down in the backfield for Steele holding his midsection. That's number 52 for Steele. It's Matt Simmons, a star junior defensive end, a guy that in the offseason was feeling a little underweight, as the coaches told him. So he said he let off all his mornings with an omelet, bacon, sausage, protein shakes to fill out. Had a good game so far. A little banged up right now. Coaching staff attends to him. And another 5A D2 action at Cedar Hill and Westlake. Cedar Hill has moved out in front, 14-7. And in 4A Division II, Cedar Park took an early lead over Manor at halftime. And the trainers will bring Simmons off the field. Simmons, a heck of a player, LD, and the brother of another exceptional talent at Cibolo Steele, the younger brother of Ryan Simmons, who's a star linebacker for Steele during their state title runs, and who was the 5A Texas Sports Writers Association Defensive Player of the Year in one of those title runs. And for good measure, his sister Megan is the area's all-time leading scorer in girls basketball and now a star in Tennessee.
There's definitely some talent in that family, that bloodline there. And you hope Simmons can get back into the game because they're going to need him. They're going to need that pass rush on the outside. And not only that, but the run defense to maintain those edges.
And here comes the punt from Austin Adams. That ball will kick backwards over the Steele 40-yard line and be down at about the Steele 42. And the Knights offense triumphantly charges onto the field looking for a way to get back in this game. As Katy leads 21-0 here in Waco at Boyd Casey Stadium, but the Knights not done yet and looking for a state title berth for the 3rd year in a row.
Ford has the
fill you in on a couple other scores going on right now. Cedar Park leading Manor 19-7 in the 3rd quarter of the 4A Division II state semis. And in 4A Division I, it's Georgetown over Leander Rouse, 28-14, as time ticks away in the 3rd quarter there as well. But here we are at 21-0 Katy. But Steele at their biggest moment of the game back on offense as Braylon McCollum steps under center. They've got Justin Stockton split out to the left side. That's where they will go on a short route to the left, and he breaks the tackle, has the corner briefly, and he's got a 1st down all the way down to the Katy 45-yard line. A 12-yard catch and run from the star running back, Justin Stockton.
Well, there's that passing on 1st down. These corners are going to give you this, and they're set up to give that cushion because they have no responsibilities on the underneath passing because they don't want anything to get deep. And once you get this out here, I tell you what, it will stretch this defense out, get it to your home run hitter Stockton for the big play there, the biggest play thus far for this offense.
Stockton had a big impact in 2010 as a freshman in the 5A D2 state finals. They go there again, but we've got whistles, and this play is going to be blown dead as Steele took a timeout, but they went back to the exact same play they saw before. And LD, the maturation of Justin Stockton has really been a pleasure to watch since that 1st year as a freshman. He had moved in from Florida shortly before, said he was, quote, terrified of being on that varsity team with all those talented kids, including Malcolm Brown, who would one day go on to the University of Texas. And said, the whole year I maybe said 4 words, and all of them were to Malcolm. So watching him grow into this role has really been reassuring. It's really been fun to watch. Some other playoff action scores we mentioned earlier. It's Cedar Hill over Austin Westlake right now in the second quarter, 14-7. The winner here at Floyd Casey will take on the winner there at Waco ISD Stadium. Georgetown and Miranda Rouse, 28-14. The Georgetown Eagle defense doing what it's done all year, which is stifle opponents. And then Cedar Park, speaking of defense, the Timberwolves have a patent on it, I swear. 19-7 over Manor. Those surprising Manor Mustangs all the way into state semis. In the 4A Division II state semifinals. We'll talk more about those matchups, maybe a little bit from yesterday as well, if you're nice to us, at the halftime show. As Steele trots back out, facing a 1st and 10 now at the Katy 45-yard line. I'll tell you what, LD, this Steele sideline had been very quiet up until this point, but the Knight faithful is rising behind this team right now, and you can feel a little bit of momentum shift.
Well, I think that first down they picked up was huge in the sense of confidence and saying, hey, let's get back to what we could do here and try to move this block against a tough defense.
Woo. Nifty running by Justin Stockton. Eludes a tackle by spinning out of it. It's a 4-yard gain to the Katy 41-yard line. And Justin Stockton, if you're a college recruiter watching right now, he does have an offer for Boise State. So if you're in the market, you want to jump on this kid now because he has prime talent and an excellent sprinter as well. His speed is paralyzing in the open field. As McCollum this time will play fake to Stockton, throws over the middle and over the head of the receiver downfield. That's going to be incomplete as he was looking for big tight end Matt Moen, the junior down the middle. That brings up now a 3rd and 6 for Cibolo Steele.
Now, I like the play call. Even though you didn't complete the pass, it's still in the back of the mind of the defense that, hey, we're going to try to attack you vertically and split your 2 safeties. Now, they didn't complete it, and they still have some work to do here on 3rd down. Look at Breland McCollum's numbers there. Not very effective as of yet, but he's got to step up. If they can give him time, he has the ability to complete some passes here.
They stay on the ground to the right side, and Stockton with a great move to leave a defender in the dust. It's a 9-yard gain for the junior, and that'll be another Steele 1st down. And these Knights are rolling. To the point you made earlier, LD, even if you don't complete a play-action pass like 2 plays earlier, making a defense think is almost as good as getting big yards sometimes.
Down here they go with a little tempo, Travis, trying to catch the defense off guard. That's what you have to do when you're struggling offensively. You try to set the tone, and they're trying to do that now. They've got some early success here on this series.
You don't want Katy's defense to be comfortable at any point. You go to the fullback again, LG Williams. He's been a key contributor so far for Steele in this one. Didn't have many carries coming down the season, just 57 carries for 320 yards and 3 touchdowns in 13 games. He's been a key factor today. That ball is loose as McCollum drops it on the handoff. Ooh, and disaster strikes as the defensive line closes in on McCollum. Big 95 for Katy all over the play. That's Tim Wilkerson, the junior defensive lineman on the other side of Diamond. And now Steele is stuck in a tough-to-convert 3rd and 14.
Well, you know what? It is the state semifinal round, and you can't have these things happen. Really, if it's no matter what, if it's the 6th week of the season, you cannot have a fumble exchange like that from the quarterback.
Split backs. McCollum will fire to the left, and it's over the head of Matthew Bailey, bringing up a 4th and 14 now. And it seems an odd question to ask, LD, but is 4th and 14 decision time for Steele right now?
Now, you know, you have to think in terms of, you know, how your defense is playing. Do you feel like you can defend the field if it's a longer field to defend? Or do you take your chances on offense and say, hey, my defense, can you go out there if we don't get it? Can you defend this field? I think we may get this answer here by Coach Jinks. He's going to roll the dice and keep his offense out.
He could still opt a quick kick from the 36-yard line as McCollum is their punter. But they do have Stockton split out next to him here in the backfield and 3 wide receivers to the left. McCollum pump fakes, trying to free up a man deep. There goes a big catch at the 25-yard line. It's Steele wide receiver Trevor Aheen on a big 1st down catch, a gain of 15. And the Knights are in business after converting a big 4th and 14 deep in Katy territory.
Now, this is a beautiful play design. They have 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. They all 3 run go routes and clear out the entire underneath. And here comes the underneath receiver on the backside. Trevor Aheen comes and clears it, gets a huge 1st down there for the Steele Knights.
Energy flowing now for Cibolo Steele. They'll hand to Stockton, who muscles his way along the right side before dragged down by Cody Gessler. A gain of about 2 on the play. That'll bring up a 2nd and 8 from the Katy 19. as we tick towards 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Well, now you're down here in the red zone. You've got to go in here and cash. You've worked so hard in between the 20s now to get down here where you are in the red zone. You've got to come out of here with a touchdown. 3 points at this point won't do you any good.
Stockton again on the right side. He's going to gain about 2 more yards, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 6. But LD on that last play, you could tell the Katy safeties, sure it's in a condensed end of the field, but the Katy safeties were in, looking for run, playing for run. This could be an opportunity to try and look over the top again on those play action throws.
I certainly agree with that, and maybe even get McCollum a run-pass option. Get him out on a bootleg, maybe get him out on a longer, out in the flats.
McCollum's got a really strong arm. That's never been in doubt, and Coach Mike Jinks was high on him in the preseason, even though he'd never played as a starter before. They will go up the middle to the fullback, L.G. Williams, stuffed by Jake Blomstrom, the junior linebacker from Katy. Those 2 interior linebackers from Katy are destructive forces. Blomstrom will push back LG, and now Steele's in a 4th and 5.
They try to go with the quick trap play, and Blomstrom is not having it. I mean, if you look at it, he looks just like a prototypical linebacker, just hard-nosed, great physique, has a great nose for the football, and doesn't mind sticking his face mask in there making big plays.
And at 6'2", 225, doorbells are going to be ringing at the Blomstrom residence as college recruiters are coming by to find someone to be in the middle of their 3-4, 4-3 defense. Steele's going to go for it again. LG in the backfield with McCollum. McCollum looks to the left in tight coverage, and it's Maley with a big catch at the 11. Breaks the tackle. Pushed out at the 7-yard line, Matt Maley. The incarnate word pledge looking every bit college caliber. A 9-yard gain on the reception, and that gives Steele another clutch first down in the Katy red zone.
Well, when you play a defense that's trying to sell out on the run, you're going to get man-to-man coverage on the outside, and the receivers have to win these battles. And Maley does exactly that. A perfect pass by McCollum, putting it only where his receiver could get him. The drive is alive, Travis.
They will go to Jordan Stearns up the middle, who's wrapped up right at the goal line. Steele thought they had it. They're going to be about 6 inches short. This is where the game gets interesting, LD. I almost called you LG. He's not playing for
I'll be called what you want.
This is where the game gets interesting. We talked about blocking and tackling being important here. But in this second and goal situation from about the inch-yard line, they will push up and in. Steele in the end zone. Jordan Stearns is fired up as Braylon McCollum hits pay dirt. It is now 21-6, and the Knights season is still alive in the second quarter.
That was a character-building type of drive there from the Knights. When all adversity is in their face, they put it together. 3 4th down conversions to convert and can get in there and get the end zone there, and that's huge. That keeps the fight alive and say we're here to battle for all 4 quarters.
As Steele lines up for the PAT, a word on Steele coach Mike Jinks. Man knows adversity. He was a good quarterback at Angelo State when he finished up, wanted to coach. Didn't have a teacher's license and was waiting tables at a Mexican restaurant in San Angelo when he stumbled onto some Clean Ellison coaches who decided to give him an opportunity. His head coach at Angelo State covered a loan just to get him into Colleen so he could take his first job. And now years later, he is a superstar coach at Cibolo Steele and one of the great guys in the coaching ranks.
You can certainly watch him on the sideline. Even at the beginning of the game, Coach Jinks has that fire mentality about him. He's just one of these guys that the players can relate to. You know, and as a former player, you'd like to see that. You'd like to see your coach get fired up out there. You want to go play even harder.
And a recap of the Steele drive now. LD mentioned those 4th down conversions. Here was a big one, a pump fake. The wide receiver over the middle would be a big first down on 4th down. McCollum again looks to the left side, and this time it was Matt Maley before he was wrestled out of bounds. And then the quarterback sneak by McCollum to get into the end zone. We mentioned it briefly earlier, worth revisiting again. Mike Jinks talked about, even though McCollum had never been a starter before, he thought that he had all the makings of a star. As a matter of fact, McCollum's dad was a high school teammate of Mike Jinks at Converse Judson once upon a time, a family connection. And Mike Jinks knows talent in the season.
Well, it's no better to judge talent at the quarterback position than Mike Jinks. I mean, that's what you like to have. If you feel that one of your guys can be that leader on and off the field, mind you got yourself set up for success, and that's what they have here today. And one of the keys to the games that you and I talked about was weathering the storm for Steele. They may very well, if they could come out of here and at least hold this position and not be down, say, 28-0 or even 35-0, I think they'd have a chance to weather the storm if their defense can go out here and stop them again.
So senior kicker Evan Kotzer lines up for the kickoff for Steele. Katy will send out Folks and Isaiah Brown on the return. Ball's caught early at the 28-yard line. Steele will wrestle down the return man at about the Katy 38.5-yard line. Now, LD, we talked about how much this game can change. Imagine what a turnover by the Steele defense would do here for this fan base, for this team, and in a game where it looked like Katy was running away with it early on.
You know, this defense has 18 interceptions on the season. Now, it's going to be very far and few between to get an opportunity to do that. Katy's not going to pass the ball too much in this type of situations. But the main thing that you have to do, if you're going to strip the ball, make sure you secure the tackle first, because these running backs can break a tackle and go to the house on it.
We'll give it to Taylor over the right side. Katy's gone heavy on that side with right tackle Javier Lopez all day. And Taylor will gain about 6 yards and bring up a 2nd and 4. When we talked about the Katy offensive line, we can talk about a guy who's not there right now, and that was Aaron Sowell, number 68, who was one of their star linemen early in the year. He got hurt midway through the season after missing all of last year as well with an injury. And since then, the Katy offensive line playing a man down, but still playing very well.
And that's the caliber of a championship team there, Travis, is depth. The next guy has to step up, and they've done that the entire season long.
We'll go to the fullback again, but the Steele defense there to answer. Linebackers and defensive end close on that one in a hurry. Josh Malin, the defensive end, the junior, was there in a heartbeat to cover it up. And I tell you what, we talked about Simmons and Malin. Simmons has, I believe, a 7-foot wingspan, or Malin has a 7-foot wingspan, and Simmons is 6'8". Neither of those guys are taller than 6'4". So just unbelievable length at the end spots make it difficult sometimes to get to the corner as Katy sets up for a critical 3rd and 3 at their own 46. Steele defense is there. Taylor fighting and brought down. Jordan Stearns, a tackle for loss. That'll set up 4th and 9, a 6-yard loss on the play. The Steele defense is fired up. Justin Garcia, the outside linebacker, in on the equation as well. Taylor fought, but there was just no daylight as Justin Garcia closed down the door, LB.
Well, the cornerback play on this run-stopping defense has been outstanding at times here, and they do a great job of that, of maintaining outside leverage. And it's a great scheme. When they see that toss sweep, these cornerbacks are taught to go straight inside on the V-line and disrupt the blocking there.
Speaking of blocking, Austin Adams' punt barely gets away. And that will be down at about the Steele, still rolling, 22-yard line as we go down to Greg Tepper after the 38-yard punt. Greg.
Coming up next on the Ford High School halftime show, we're going to have so many highlights, so much analysis from the first half of this one. It's really lived up to the billing so far. Plus, we're going to check in on scores from across state, see who's already punched their ticket to Arlington, who's trying to punch their ticket today. We'll have a special guest up in the booth. All that and more on the Ford High School halftime show.
Thank you, Greg. And Justin Garcia was the guy who made that big tackle for loss on 3rd down. He was their leading tackler so far this year. 106 tackles and 22 tackles for loss as an outside linebacker in a 4-3 system. As McCollum steps in on 1st down, looks to the outside, and Justin Stockton breaks a tackle and knocked out of bounds at the Katy, or at the Steele 35-yard line on a 12-yard gain. And LD, we talked about the momentum shifting earlier. No doubt, it's firmly in Steele's game now.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to take advantage. If there is a weakness in this Katy defense, it's the secondary tackling at the cornerback positions. And you saw there, put one of your better athletes out in space against their corners, and he's going to win that matchup 9 out of 10 times.
And Stockton is out to the left again. This time he runs a deeper route. McCollum throws, and it's caught by Justin Stockton in double coverage over the top of Kyle Folks from Katy, a 35-yard gain. The Steele sideline is in hysterics, and this stadium is on its feet as Steele is moving now on the Katy side of the field, 1st and 10 at the Tiger 29-yard line.
It's just amazing what you can do and how your offense opens up when you open the playbook on 1st down. It set the tone and set the table now for how they call the rest of this game.
They will give it to Jordan Stearns up the middle. No one to beat. 5-yard line. End zone. Jordan Stearns, a 29 Casey Stadium as Steele gets within 21-13 on Jordan Stern's big-time touchdown run just a week after he took over in the backfield after playing at safety all year long, LD. Wow, this game has turned on a dime.
Now look at the downfield blocking. You see big number 77, Cameron Jackson. He comes from his right tackle position and down blocks. And once he does that, Stern gets in right behind off his right hip and goes to the house. And I tell you, when you open it up on first down, you have the defense guessing. And for the first time in a while this season, the Katy Tigers are guessing. And that's why we've got a different ball game with less than 1 minute and a half to go.
So now we've talked about what you tell Steele earlier when they were down 21-0. If you're Gary Joseph, put on a red jersey. What do you tell the Katy players right now as it feels like the momentum and the trap door's been pulled out from underneath?
Hey, for one thing, hey, let's all take a deep breath here. We are still winning this game. We're still doing what we want to do offensively. We just have to execute and pay extra attention to detail. And that's why they're such a great team, is that they do the little things. Let's get back to blocking and tackling, first of all, and that'll set the stage there for the rest of how we can play against Steele here.
So obviously the 2 touchdowns for Steele, but riveted this fan sideline by Justin Garcia. The defensive line crashing down early on in the series to really make Katy sweat offensively, something they haven't had to do with their great ground game. They're averaging well more than 200 yards rushing a game. They're one of the best rushing attacks in all of Texas. They're averaging more than 50 points per game. One of the most prolific offenses, not just in Class 5A, the entire state.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're Katy, you had to think at some point, hey, this is the state semifinal round. We have to feel that Steele's going to come back and try to swing back at us at some point in time. And that's what they've done. Now, can they react to getting hit back in the face, so to speak, here? Can they come back with a little bit of adversity here in this game and get back to increase their lead?
Brown will receive this one at the 16-yard line. He's got a crease. He's got a block on the outside. Makes the man miss. The Steele defense still fighting before Brown is brought down at the Katy 38-yard line, and that's a 31-yard return for Isaiah Brown, a guy who knows a thing or two about San Antonio. He used to play Conference Judson before he came out to the Katy Tigers, and now, boy howdy, the Tigers needed something. A big kick return was part of it. Now that they're up near midfield, you've legitimately got an option if you wanted to play fake here and look deep to try and steal this momentum back with 1:18 left in the second quarter.
And if I'm defense for the Steele Knights there, I'm saying that exact same thing. Safeties, pay attention, read your keys. Don't get caught looking in the backfield. Make sure you stay as deep as the deepest man and not let anything get behind you.
But it will be the run, the tossle on the left. Bang! Steele defense steps up, and they say the ball's out. Oh, and it is! Steele's recovered, and Adam Taylor fumble. Number 3 for the Cibolo Steele defense. Justin Garcia for the second straight play has made a huge effort on defense, and Steele now driving in Katy territory. Oh, wow, I can't imagine a game changing like this as much as I can remember. Steele will take over on offense. Wow. The Knights now have a 1st and 10 at the Katy 47-yard line with 1:10 left to go in the half. A score here would be colossal. McCollum on the play fake. He's got a man deep. It's Maley, and he's got it down at the 10-yard line. Matthew Maley, a 37-yard gain on the play-action pass, and Steele at the 1:03 mark of the half is in business, looking for a game-time score.
Well, I'm just believing this. Play-action pass, you have to think that's the only way they're going to attack this defense. And the one thing that you cannot let happen is let a receiver get in behind you. The best receiver there for the Steele Knights. Travis, this is a totally different game from the opening first quarter of his first few goals of this game.
This is night and day. McCollum will go to Justin Stockton, the left side, and the Katy defense stands up tall. Number 21 for Katy in the area, but also the defensive line takes a big step in as well. Looked like Cody Gessler was in there to cause some damage, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 9 as the clock ticks at the 32nd mark before the halftime break.
Well, Travis, they can't get too lazy here. You still have 1 timeout remaining, but you've let a lot of seconds go off the clock just now.
McCollum on the play action. He's got L.G. Williams. He's into the end zone.
Oh, my
Another
goodness.
big play-action play, a 9-yard touchdown catch from the fullback, L.G. Williams. And Cibolo Steele, once down 21-0, dead and gone in the state semifinals, is a point after away from tying this game, and the Steele sideline is going nuts.
Now, you had to wonder if the one team that's going to be able to smack back Katy is going to be Steele, how would the Tigers react? Right now, I think they're in a little bit of shock. Defensively, I think they're just like stunned to the fact that, man, we were up 21-0, dominated this game, Travis. You and I were sitting there almost coronating the Tigers on their way, and look at the play they have made. And this play-action pass is deadly, and one of your better receivers getting out on the flat. This is a good shot here. Look at the movement there of the offensive line. They're already thinking run defensively. You split the fullback out in the flats, let him be an athlete, get in the end zone.
So L.G. Williams, he came into this game with limited touches, just 57 carries on the year and just 6 catches. He has a big touchdown catch there, and he's been a weapon in the ground game so far. So with this score now tied at 21 and 16 seconds left, you've got to think, LD, that Katy's just going to take a knee here and get to halftime.
I think so. I think, you got to cut your losses. Hey, let's regroup here. Hey, nothing's hurt, nothing's lost. Still a lot to be played. We're just going to start out with pretty much double zeros on the scoreboard in the second half. It's a new game. It's just one half of football to be played for the state championship.
If the second half is like this one, I'm going to need a nap at halftime. This has been as fiery and intense a game as I can remember so far, living every bit up to the billing
oh, my goodness.
Of 2 14-0 teams.
And you have to wonder which team survives out of this contest today, and they're going to have enough to go next week because this is still the semifinal round. We got the big one next week.
And Cedar Hill was beating Austin Westlake 14-7 early on in that other semifinal. And Steele will make a short kick, and it will go out of bounds, which will draw a flag. For Katy, even though we said they will probably take a knee, they will have fairly good field position here, LD. And a couple years ago when Katy beat Pflugerville in the state title game, they took advantage of a play right before halftime. They ran a deep man to the right side. They ran what they called the starburst player. You just try and tip it to a man behind you. They scored a touchdown on that play. They went on springboarding off the momentum and beat Pflugerville in the second half. The talent's there, the play is there, if they wanted to take a look at it.
And I think the quarterback has the arm. Their arm to certainly, get it done if they do want to take a heave. But looks like they're going to line up in their base I formation, the power I.
Katy does have 2 timeouts as well. They will give it to Taylor on the right side, but he is met hard by Josh Malin, the junior defensive end for Steele. It's going to be a 2-yard gain, and the clock is ticking down and out. So we will go to halftime after Katy was up 21-0. Cibolo Steele ties him up at 21. So we go to Greg Tepper now on the sidelines.
Coach Jinks, what an incredible turn of momentum. What do you tell your kids in that locker room?
We tell them to keep fighting, keep playing. We told them they're going to have to be patient. They were playing a great team. They're going to make plays. They're going to be highs and they're going to be lows. And how we respond to adversity is what's going to make the difference in this game. So I'm excited about how they responded so far. Now we got to go get second half taken care of.
Coach, good luck. Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, LD, don't stand in front of Mike Jinks.
I want to play now.
Fired up.
I'm ready to go.
All right, so tied at 21 now at halftime of the 5A Division II state semifinals. When we come back, the Ford halftime show, including highlights and breakdowns of the interbeat games in high school action here in Week 15. Waco, Floyd Casey Stadium.
Right now.
Down on the sideline. So as we close in on the kickoff of the third quarter, LD, what do you think the halftime message is for both of these teams? And let's go ahead and start with Katy.
If you're Katy, you have to be saying to your kids, hey, we're in a dogfight. Hey, they hit you back. It's the first team all season long that says, hey, we're here. We know you're Katy. We know you're big and bad, but we're here to play as well. Hey, go out there and right the ship. Forget that first half and play it as a 0-0 game. And Now, if you look on the, on the other side for the Steele Knights, keep the pressure on. Do not take your foot off the gas pedal. Offensively, come out, do what you've done, keep attacking, and defense, keep playing lights out and playing with your heart there.
You just saw the Katy schedule. We flashed it up a second ago. They'd only played 2 14-point games all year. Everything other than that was a bigger blowout than that. So to all of a sudden be tied at halftime as we take a look at the schedule again, you can see A-Leaf Taylor gave them a good go, 23-9 early on in the season. And then traditional district rival Cinco Ranch gave them some business as well. But in the playoffs, it's been all red and white. And the Tigers have been on a roll. We can take a look at the Cibolo Steele schedule too, and actually in some ways, LD, very similar. They had some close games early on against Converse Judson for one. San Antonio Madison was tough too, but then they rolled through the district schedule and have looked very good in the playoffs. So after now 24 minutes of action, LD, talk to me about some of the guys that really stood out to you in the first half.
Well, I have to think you have to start offensively. Once they got things rolling, Justin Stockton, his ability to not only make plays running, but his ability to make plays on the outside of the passing game. We saw him catch some passes, and then you also have to factor in Stearns. He had a big home run touchdown. Obviously, the 3 touchdowns that they had set the game wide open from an offensive standpoint. And really go back, you and I were talking about passing on first down. I can't emphasize that enough. Once they started doing that, the offense started to take away some things that Katy would like to normally take away from you from an offensive standpoint.
And we saw 2 key shifts from Steele during their hot run when they scored 21 points in 3 minutes and 42 seconds. One, as they moved Justin Stockton, their running back, and they split him out a little bit. He was devastating on just those short hitch routes, and that opened up a deep play down the field later that led to a touchdown. The other comes with Roy Russell, a guy you were just talking about that they've moved into a corner position. He's been a huge, huge find for them in these past 12 minutes or so. Well, it's been impressive. He's listed as a linebacker in this defense. Well, the adjustment was, hey, let's put him out at cornerback. We got a guy that doesn't like to go in there, is not afraid of contact. He's been seeing the backfield develop, and he's running full speed and disrupting the sweep plays, the counter plays, and it's really made a difference in that second quarter, and we see a different defense than what we saw for the Knights and what we saw in the beginning of the game. So real quick, some briefers on these 2 teams, and to put in perspective how epic these programs have become. Steele is bidding to become just actually the first ever San Antonio area high school team to play in 3 state title games. They would be just the 4th ever to do it in Class 5A statewide. One would be Midland Lee when they had Cedric Benson. One would be South Lake Carroll when they had Todd Dodge and Riley Dodge and a whole host of other skilled players. The other would be Katy. They did it from 2007 through 2009. When you put all those pieces together, it makes you realize just how good Steele really is. Katy, under 9 seasons under Gary Joseph, get this, they've never missed the playoffs under him. More importantly, they've never won less than double-digit games. They've had 10 or more wins every year under Gary Joseph's tenure. Speaking of Joseph, LD, they're coming out, they're going to come out and start with the ball here in the second half. How exactly do you approach that first offensive series? Aggressive or defensive? We'll get to that here in just a second. Let's take a look at some other playoff scores from around the area and around the state, the big ones in 5A and 4A, as every 3A, 2A, 1A game was played yesterday. So Cedar Hill over Austin Westlake right now, 14-7 in the third quarter. Surprisingly low scoring for a high-scoring Cedar Hill team. Georgetown, the only undefeated team left in 4A. They prove it again, 42-14 over Leander Rouse. They will go on to the state finals now and play Denton Guile. And then Cedar Park over Manor right now, 40-14. The Timberwolves will be in the state finals as well. And that's a good defense. But back to the question I asked you about earlier, LD. Katy's going to receive the kickoff here. Oh, it's Richland Springs over Follett right now, 54-14 in a Division II 6-man state title game out at Shotwell Stadium in Abilene. The 6-man playoffs wrap up a week earlier. But to that question I asked earlier, LD, if you're Katy, do you come out and attack this first drive aggressively or a little bit conservatively?
Well, when you're Katy, you really don't change your game plan to what other teams are doing to you. You go back out, correct what you're doing wrong, and then you set the tone offensively. And this is a good shot of it here in the second half, that they can come back, get their running game established, and they may very well have to start thinking about opening it up offensively in the passing game to just back the defense up. You've got this Steele defense that's hunkered in up front, and their linebackers are coming in and scraping up, and even the secondary players are coming up, so they've got to do something to back it off.
Let's go to Greg Tepper with Gary Joseph right now.
Coach Joseph, you got to tell me, what did you tell your team in the halftime after that comeback by Steele?
take a deep breath. They just got us on our heels. You know, they just, after they converted and they converted again, we just didn't do a good job of regaining our composure. You know, you know, we're in a game. They're a good football team. We knew they were a good football team, but, you know, we just something to get the lead, too, and that's what I told them. We'll be okay. We just got to sit there and play more sound while we're doing.
Any major adjustments coming out of halftime?
Oh, a couple, but it's minor things.
All right, well, good luck, Coach. Back to you guys up in the booth.
From the mouth of a man that's seen pretty much everything in a 26-year tenure at Katy at various coaching positions, it's Gary Joseph, as stoic and as calm as ever, which is about exactly what you need for this Katy team right now.
Oh, yeah, and you see the confidence coming out of the locker room. Even though they gave up really 21 unanswered points there in the second quarter. Hey, there's no quit here, and no sense of, hey, oh my gosh, we need to panic. Let's just go out there, correct the little things that we've done wrong. And really, Travis, in the grand scheme of things, it's just getting a block here, make it a cut there, make it a move here or there. That is the difference in their offense being shut down, which was really happening in the second quarter.
Teams to remember do, in fact, play in December. Katy has that one locked up, and that's a team that has seen a lot of happy December. 6 state titles in school history, including a number in Class 5A over the past 10 years or so, including one back in 2008 over Wiley. They would lose to Abilene a year later in 2009 as the Tigers storm onto the field looking to get themselves back into this 5A D2 semifinal after Steele landed the haymakers right before halftime. Steele already out on the field. We've already got 12 on the clock, so we should be kicking off the third quarter shortly. And since Steele received in the first half, it will be Katy's opportunity to start offensively here in the third quarter. The sun has more or less moved on today. Full shade now. The temperature drops a little bit. There's a slight wind going from the left hash to the right, from the Steele sideline to the Katy sideline. But we have not seen the need for kickers yet, and no surprise, LD, as you said earlier, these teams go for broke. Not a lot of field goals between these groups. They are touchdown machines.
That's just a confidence play. If you have the confidence in your offense to get it done, and they've got the players to get it done. And we've seen them take advantage of that today. And you look at this guy here on the screen, Coach Jinks, he's just a ball of energy, just an inspirational type coach. And, you know, we talk about the coaches and how successful they've been, but they do have contrasting type of styles of motivation. When we saw Coach Joseph, he said, hey, we've been there, done that before. Take a deep breath. Let's relax. Let's go out there and play our style of ball. Coach Jinks is fired up, getting his team more amped up to come out here flying in the second half.
So Evan Kotzer, the senior kicker for Cibolo Steele, will line up for the kickoff. Isaiah Brown and Kyle Folks set back deep for Katy now. Brown had a good return in the first half. Folks, his impact largely limited by an aggressive Steele defense.
Here we go, Travis.
Nervous, LD.
Wrap it up.
Been a heck of a first half, and there's the kick from Kotzer. It's a short poocher, and that one will be fair caught by Katy's number 43 at about the 37-yard line. That's Colberry, linebacker Colberry, the senior, and actually the team's leading tackler coming in by a comfortable margin. 120 tackles on the season, 17 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles. It's not a name we've been able to call a lot today, primarily because the Steele offense got away from the run a little bit. Gave the ball to Braylon McCollum on the play-action pass late in that second half. And from 1st and 10, it's Kylie Huddleston under center. Adam Taylor in the eye. And Taylor as well, they'll go on the right side. And the Steele defense is there. A 2-yard gain, and everybody in a black jersey swarming towards the football. It's Josh Malin chasing down Taylor to the outside. Taking a look at the drive summary from the first half. An ecstatic, energetic first half. Katy from the Steele 46, they scored. Then again from their own 27, 2 punts in a row. Then a fumble. A Taylor fumble forced by Justin Garcia, which led to a Steele touchdown. And then halftime. We've got a man down on the field now, and it's a Steele defensive player, number 45. And that's the other outside linebacker, Garth Tubbs.
Well, that's certainly a player that, as far as a leadership standpoint, and a guy that's one of the leaders on sacks, certainly well behind the sack master there they have up front. Looks to...
Tubbs is up now. We'll take a look at the injury. Looks like a little bit of head-to-head contact there. Got the wind knocked out of him a little bit. Hold up over another player. But Tubbs is up and moving. Although being helped off the field, and if Tubbs is unable to go, here's hoping he's okay. The backups would be Marquis Allison, who's a sophomore. Big body, but a sophomore nonetheless. Could be Cody Hicks as a junior. Let's go down to Greg Tepper, filling us a little more what's happened on the field. Greg.
Well, Matthew Simmons went out in the second quarter with what looked like an abdomen injury, but he's actually cradling his left elbow. It's in a soft cast right now. He's icing it. He looks like he wants to go back in, but I'm not sure if the trainers are going to let him. A lot of fight in this kid, but right now may not be physically able to go.
That would be a colossal loss for the Steele defense, but Jalen Lewis, the backup senior at both defensive end spots, is a more than capable replacement. And it's Taylor again over the left side, and he's got a big haul before Steele knocks him down right at midfield. We call it the 49-yard line on a 10-yard gain from Taylor. Well, that'll set up a Katy 1st and 10. The Tigers sticking to the ground early on.
Well, Travis, they've had the most success running straight in between the guard, left guard, and the center. And this is just a little bit of a zone block here, and it creates a pretty nice running lane there for Adam Taylor.
It would be Vince Skrbonek and John Kellogg, two offensive linemen in question. And the toss play to Taylor again. Over a tackle and pushed out of bounds at about the Steele 43-yard line. For all the energy we saw pulsing through the stadium at the break, LD, a much quieter atmosphere now, and Katy, as it usually does, specializing in taking the air out of the ball.
Well, it's really one thing to really top what we saw there in that first half, but Katy methodically getting back to what they do best, giving Taylor an opportunity to run inside, run outside, and I really think his main friend here is number 42, Alex Fisher, because he is putting on a fullback blocking clinic, and it gives him a chance to get out on the edge of the defense.
Taylor headed to Nebraska for his college football. A pretty good fit, I'd say, to even wear red and white. Helson on the play fake. He's going to look deep on the left side. That ball is over the head of Rodney Anderson and incomplete.
That's that same play that we saw in the first half where he did have two receivers wide open, and he overthrew Anderson in that first half.
Let's take a look at Kylie Huddleston's numbers so far. 1 of 5 passing, just 25 yards. But the one completion was the big touchdown to Rodney Anderson, the 26-yard strike, or 25-yard strike, down the left side. And Huddleston will step under center again at a 3rd and 2. Taylor along the right side, and he's got a first down, and he's got big yardage. He's through the defense before he's pushed out of bounds by Roy Russell and company at about the Steele 12-yard line. A 31-yard run from Adam Taylor and the Tigers, just like they started the first quarter in big business in the 3rd.
Well, they like going to the right side of the offensive line. They've got their senior guard and tackle Kyle Miller and Javier Lopez, and when you get out in front like you got here, well, it sets up a nice running lane there for Adam Taylor, and he is a load to bring down in that secondary.
There was a Katy player down. It was actually Kylie Huddleston, the quarterback. He may have gotten tagged on a block there. We saw him lay a big block earlier as a lead. And I guess there's your danger when you go to a quarterback trying to throw a lead block. And now they'll bring in the new quarterback. It's number 14, Garrett Doran, freshman, 5'9", 150, stepping into some of his first meaningful action of the year in the state semifinals. No pressure. They'll go right to Taylor, who leaps over the right side. Got a 5-yard gain. It brings up a 2nd and 5. So LDU got pressed into action early on in your UNT career as a freshman, I believe. What were those first moments like when you step on the field and look up and see everything that's on the line?
Well, the one thing you want to do, make sure you get the snap. Well, I should take it a step further. Make sure you've got your helmet strapped on right, first and foremost, and then obviously make sure that you don't do anything that would cause the team to set a setback. Get in there, execute the plays. You don't get as many reps in practice, but you know what to do. Take care of business.
And Gary Joseph agrees. We'll give the ball to Adam Taylor again. He's going to be about 2 yards, about a yard and a half shy of the first down. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 2. And with a freshman quarterback under center, who is still in right now, you would think the ground game would be a good opportunity.
Absolutely, and why not? It's been working for you. Seems like the nerves, seems like the press mentality has settled down offensively. This offensive line is saying, hey, let's go to work. Let's create some running lanes for our backs.
And It's to the left side. It's Taylor lunging for the end zone, and they're going to mark him about 3 inches short as Taylor lunges, reaching backwards for the goal line, and the Steele defense steps up.
Well, they still get a first down, which is really good. You got a first and goal here, so you've literally got 4 cracks with the length of the football, but this is just tough-nosed football on both ends here, and Taylor almost gets himself into the end zone. That toss sweep is awfully, awfully good. One of the best teams in the state to certainly run that.
Doran now under center on a first and goal from the 1. No St. Anderson in motion. It's Taylor again, and he's into the end zone, standing up before dragged down by the defense, but it's too late. Katy puts 6 points on the board. They're up 27-21 with the PAT pending, and Adam Taylor heard from once again in the ground game. His second rushing touchdown of the day, his 38th on the season.
Well, they run right behind big number 67, Ben Strabonic. And he absolutely does work on that left side of the line. And what a fitting attitude setting, tone setting to the second half drive there by the Tigers. That's pretty impressive to come back with that adversity they witnessed in that first half.
Manny Mendoza's PAT is up and good. We'll go to the break at 28-21 at Waco's Floyd Casey Stadium here in the 5A Division II state semifinal between Katy Tigers and the Cibolo Steele Knights, both looking for a berth in the state title game next. Lead on this star drive, LD.
Well, they got back to what they do best, and Travis, that's his pound the ball straight ahead, get the running back in an opportunity to where he can run downhill, and when you do that, boy, I tell you what, you let your big dogs eat up front, and they really overpowered that Steele defensive front, and that's what we saw in that first half of their first 2 scoring opportunities.
Justin Stockton and Jordan Stearns back to receive Katy's kickoff at the 9-10 mark of the third quarter. Manny Mendoza will boot this one down to about the 15-yard line. And Stearns has it there. Worked his way out to the Steele 24-yard line and brought down on an 11-yard kick return. And now it's a Steele first down, and the Knights take over on offense for the first time in the second half.
Well, I think you go back to what was really working for you, and that's passing, the underneath passing game, because these corners are really going to give you that. And now they may have made an adjustment defensively for the Tigers, but take what the defense is giving. They don't give you a whole lot, but like Coach Jake said, we have to be patient. They were patient on offense, and look what happens. Get back to what you're doing there.
Braylon McCollum, the senior, steps in under center with the I formation lined up behind him. Going to go out to the right side on the short route. And a great move there before he is dragged down out of bounds. That is Jalen Harris on an 11-yard catch and run. The exact same kind of route that Steele went through in the first half. As we look at those drives by the Steele offense in the first half, as you can see, it didn't start well. Punt, interception return for a touchdown by Matt Diamond, another punt. That's when Steele got hot with 3 straight touchdowns to end the first half. LD, we have another player down with an injury right now on the sideline, and that is a Katy Tiger who is moving as number 1, Kyle Folks, the corner and wide receiver star for Katy.
That looks like a cramp, if anything, and it is a little bit warmer for this time of season. And, you know, hey, it's been playing a lot of football snaps as Folks have. He's been playing special teams. He's been on offense, and obviously he's one of the starting cornerbacks. So a little bit of a humidity there, and that a lot of times will equal to a cramp.
Came down a little awkwardly on the tackle, did Folks, and a good bit of sportsmanship by Braylon McCollum. We'll give him a pat and a salute as Folks got taken to the sideline. But that's a 1st and 10 now for Steele as we look at McCollum's numbers on the day. 10 to 17 passing, $185, $165 through the air, a touchdown, and then the 1 interception to Diamond.
Well, I think you and I both thought coming into this game the X factor might be the quarterback play. Which quarterback would assert themselves and really take the mantle away of being a bus driver or a game manager? Right now, McCollum is up to the task.
McCollum again short to the outside. That is wide receiver Thaddeus Thompson giving the big guy, 6'2", 207 senior, getting him involved in the offense. That's a gain of about 3. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 7 now at the Steele 41-yard line.
And that little pass play there gives them a chance to stay ahead of the chains. We talked about that in the first half. When they got behind the chains, it played right into the hands of the Tigers defense.
There is Stockton along the left side, and he breaks free at the 40-yard line and pushed out at the Katy 35, but we've got multiple flags in the backfield. in LD, whenever there's a big run and there's a flag in the backfield, you're going to see a ref grab his wrist. That's probably coming back because of a hold.
Oh, it's heartbreaking, too, because that was actually an outstanding run by Stockton because he had to make 2 defenders miss that time. And he has the speed, and we've documented his sprinter speed to get to the outside.
That's another personal foul face mask on Cibolo Steele. The second time we've seen a flag on the Cibolo Steele offense for a face mask.
And you know what? That flag came in awfully late because Stockton was clearly up the sideline, and it looks like it was number 54, Kevin Lavelle. Now, they're jousting at the bottom of the pile down here, and you see them wrestling. Well, you don't see it there, that shot, but they were wrestling back there, kind of going at each other. Personal foul penalty. That's the thing, Travis. You cannot shoot yourselves in the foot. That's the one thing they didn't do on the 3 scoring drives to close out the first half.
An eerie resemblance to what we saw in the first half. A strong Katy start, and then an unusual personal foul penalty on an offense pushes Steele back into a 2nd and 22. At their own 26-yard line, it's McCollum in the shotgun, flanked by 2 backs. And it's a play fake. They had great success on this in the first half. That ball is thrown short, and in the coverage is Katy's number 19, Chris Harper, 5'11", 180-pound senior, closing down on that route, forcing a 3rd and long.
Well, they got away with one there because if this ball's a little bit up, great opportunity for an interception on the outside. And I'm really worried about or wondered what that play call was because all they needed to do is get back to the original line of scrimmage to have a chance because it was there if they hooked up and to get the ball out quickly.
So dangerous territory now for Steele. You got a strong arm quarterback. You want to air it out, but you definitely don't want to turn it over. They call him on a straight drop. Gessler gets through the line right away, forces a quick throw out to Justin Stockton, and he's wrapped up early. That's a 6-yard gain, but still 16 yards short.
Well, I don't know too many 3rd and 22 plays. That's awfully tough against any defense, let alone the Katy Tigers defense. And I agree with you. Eerily similar to the first half. We've seen an offense bog down, shoot themselves in the foot, but I have to say, it looked like they were getting ready to go again, but it's clearly gone away.
And Brown and Anderson back to return the punt. This one goes out of bounds. And I'll tell you what, if there's one thing Steele has been determined not to do, it's let Katy return a punt. As we go to break, Katy up 28-21 at the 7-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Waco's Floyd Casey Stadium. About midway through the 3rd quarter as Katy protects a 28-21 lead. And back on offense now at a 1st and 10 at their own 46-yard line. This is a fumbled snap, and Steele says they have it, and the refs agree. The Knights are back on offense after a fumbled snap. Freshman in at quarterback after Kylie Huddleston was injured earlier. They were working on his shoulder. You can't blame the freshman quarterback, but it is tough to step into a D2 state semifinal and expect to get out unscathed.
Oh, it's certainly tough, and what you're trying to do is get out of the way of the backside pull and guard. And a lot of times when that happens, a young freshman just trying to be a little too quick. You take a little bit loose carelessness with the football, and that's what happens. And I've been in that situation. I've actually done the same thing. It's a horrible feeling, but now your defense has got to bail you out.
McCollum will play fake to Justin Stockton. Looking deep down the field. There's no one there. Oh, and a huge hit. Wow, Johnny on the spot. Cibolo steals. Matt Moen, the tight end, snags that ball out of the air to save a possible interception. Let's go on to Greg Tepper with an update on Kylie Huddleston.
Well, Kylie Huddleston is currently sitting on the bench. He does have his helmet. They have his left shoulder pretty heavily iced sitting on the bench. After that fumbled snap, he went back up to the backup quarterback and said, hey, relax. It's just a game. And he offered some advice, but we're not sure if Huddleston's going to come back into the game, guys.
Wow. Well, he's still got his helmet, so that's a good start as we go to 2nd and 8. And McCollum will look outside to Thaddeus Thompson. Makes one man miss, but not the rest of the group on a 3-yard gain. Now a 3rd and 5. Steele needs to convert this. They don't want to give this ball right back to Katy after cashing in on the turnover.
Well, I totally agree with you. And that play right there has been their lifesaver. That little quick out hitch route to the stop route to the outside. Almost an extension of their running game. But here's a big down. I like the rollout of the quarterback here.
And it's Stockton again up the middle. And he's going to be wrestled down very close to the first down. Maybe about 6 inches short on a 4-yard run. And they're going to say he is indeed short by about a yard. 4th and 1 now for Cibolo Steele.
Well, you have to think in terms. Do we want to go straight into the teeth of the defense? Do we want to stretch them out? Do we want to do a play pass and catch them out off sides and out of position?
Both teams perfect on 4th down today. 2 for 2 apiece. And it's over the top. First down by Justin Stockton on a 2-yard gain. Steele now 3 for 3 on 4th downs today.
Well, I don't know too many teams who make a living on 4th down, but this is just straight ahead, pulling the backside guard. Power football at its best. And they win the battle up front once again, coming on 4th down.
Stockton in the slot now. But it's an inside handoff, and it's L.G. Williams. And he's met quickly by what seems like half the Katy linebacker corps, Jake Blomstrom, in the middle of the mix. He's tackled for a gain of about, we'll call it 2.5.
Well, that's all you want to do, especially when you do the base handoff. It's a base run blocking scheme. When you hand it off to the fullback, you just want to get 3. If you can get 3 to 4 yards, that's ideal. But you just want to give something to soften that defense up. Let them know you're still coming.
Another short flare out to Justin Stockton. And he's met immediately by Isaiah Brown and a host of other Katy defenders. He's brought down for no gain. As we head to about 3rd and 8 now, LD. And we haven't heard from in a long time is Matt Diamond.
Yeah, exactly. And this is really set up for him. A 3rd and long situation, almost certain passing situation. And if I'm the defensive coordinator, Matt McDaniel, I'm telling my defensive backs, press these receivers, get up in the grill, because if you just slow the timing of the routes down, that'll allow Diamond and company to get home back there on the quarterback sacks.
Stockton comes off the field. They will fake to Stearns in the backfield. McCollum rolls, fires to the end zone. There's a man. It's Thaddeus Thompson with a big catch at the 2-yard line. Another play action strike from McCollum, a 32-yard pass play down to the Katy 2-yard line.
I can easily tell you, Braylon McCollum is being the X factor in this ball game. Rolling out to his strong side for a right-hand quarterback, keeps his eyes upfield, and throws an absolute strike and a great play by Thaddeus Thompson to go up and catch that ball at the highest point.
Steele now threatening at the goal line. Stockton pushing into the end zone. It's actually Jordan Stearns. Now brings Steele back within an extra point. And this game is 28-27. And no one is willing to quit today.
Well, this is a heavyweight fight, Travis. One team is throwing a punch and the other team is coming back and throwing another haymaker themselves. And we're about an answering drive here by the Steele Knights. Impressive, getting back to running the ball and timely passing.
To carry out the boxing motif, both teams using body blows today. The heavy hit run game in the offensive line as the PAT is off the upright from Evan Kotzer. And that's going to leave Steele a point behind now, 28-27, as we close in on the 4-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. And LD, you know better than anyone. Little points like that at the end of a game like this, they can hurt you.
Well, that's the one thing. You'll be, it's almost like going for a 2-point conversion. You miss it, well, you find yourself chasing points the entire game. And this is one that very well could bite them in the behind back there later on in this game. Well, that's unfortunate. You've been very consistent as far as making field goals this entire year. And the little things you take for granted can hopefully come and beat you.
So as Cibolo Steele prepares to kick off, now we wonder about the Katy offense. Kylie Huddleston with his shoulder heavily iced on the sideline. Garrett Dorn, the freshman, steps in. Let's go to Greg Tepper with some more information.
Well, I got it straight from Kylie's mouth. He was walking by after the trainers were working heavily on his shoulder. I said, "Kylie, are you going back in?" He turned to me, he goes, "Yes, sir, I am." So I guess there's your answer.
Hard-hitting reporting from sideliner Greg Tepper, and a straight shooting answer from Kylie Huddleston.
Man, to go and get the info for us. Nice work down there.
And you know what? Huddleston's arm could have fallen off. But when you get into a game like this, you've played, and sometimes your whole career, you're still just a junior, but some players, your whole career to get to this point, it's going to take, literally, it's going to take your arm falling off to keep you out of the rest of this game.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can't take for granted these opportunities to lead your ball club. Not only is it a good sign as far as motivation, but your quarterback who's taken a hit, coming back into the game.
So both teams shifting. Steele on the kicking team, Katy on the receiving team. That is Rodney Anderson fighting his way out to the 38-yard line. And a 14-yard return for Katy. Rodney Anderson has done a little bit of everything today. And folks, please don't forget, that's a sophomore doing all of this for you. What a talented kid he is.
It's really a true talent and really going to be impressed for years to come. And there he is. Huddleston back into the game. And that's a good sign for this team to let them know that their leader and that's back out there wounded, ready to go to war with you.
Huddleston won this job in the fall despite heavy competition, showing why now with some gritty leadership on that left shoulder injury. They're going to have him throw right away. He's looking deep down the field, and it's caught at the 44-yard line. A 17-yard gain downfield for the Katy offense.
Well, he's a right-handed quarterback. His left shoulder's hurt, so yeah, he can still be effective in the passing game. Get him out on the edge. He's got a convoy of blockers and a great route run on the outside there.
By Andy Coonrod, backup wide receiver.
One of your favorite names.
I do love that last name. Huddleston steps in under center now. The 1st and 10 at the Steele 44. There's Taylor stepping over a tackle. A 6-yard gain out to the Steele 38-yard line. And after all the drama we saw in the first half, for how rattled Katy looks, it honestly, LD, looks like that half never happened.
It's a good sign that their quarterback is back into the game as a stabilizing force, but they also have number 28 in the backfield and this offensive line that has played all season long together, minus a starter or two. But they have been together, and now they're in there battling together. They're starting to play as a unit once again.
Taylor once again, who cuts it up the middle, but the Steele defense is there to push him back. One name we haven't said much today on the 2-yard gain is middle linebacker Jalen Maddox. He had a big tackle on Taylor 2 plays ago. One of the defensive leader, if not the defensive leader for the front 7. Really has the ability to read plays and put the Steele defense in positive positions.
You got to give credit to Katy's offensive line. They've been able to not only block the front 4 there, but get to the next level. Well, they neutralize Maddox's ability to run sideline to sideline and play in the trenches in the tackles.
Power formation for Katy. They're going to throw it, and it's caught on the left side by Anderson. And he is tucked out of bounds by Roy Russell for Cibolo Steele. And that's a 17-yard gain on the pass from Huddleston, whose arm apparently quite healthy. I know it's a non-throwing arm, but sometimes if the other side of your body hurts like that, it can affect the way you throw a football.
Well, I'm really getting excited about this even more now. These quarterbacks are coming up and being the leaders and separating themselves and being the difference makers in the game. The play-action pass is going to be there the entire game. We might as well just make it known of that because these teams run the ball so well. And Adam Taylor's such a versatile athlete, a great receiver out of the backfield.
So 5 men with their hand on the ground now for Steele. Taylor on the right side. He's got a big hole before he's dragged down by number 45 for Cibolo Steele, Garth Tubbs. And there's a flag on the play and a Katy player down on the play. It looks like this one is going to come back for a hold. And the Katy trainers are thinking about coming out to take a look at their injured player, who's now up, walking off on his own power. It looks like Adam Taylor.
Oh, this is the one time Alex Fisher gets himself out of position. He's always going to be the lead blocker, an outstanding lead blocker back in that I formation, but he gets himself out of position. It was an easy call there by the official to signal for the holding foul.
That is Katy's first penalty of the day. One of the least penalized teams in Texas, showing their discipline again today before that holding penalty. Huddleston with the inside handoff. Interesting call on the 1st and 15. And that's going to be a 2-yard gain as they give the ball to Alex Fisher. Both fullbacks actually playing a surprising role today in this game. When was the last time you saw 2 fullbacks in a game like that?
Well, probably when I played, when we ran the wishbone back in the mid-90s. They were our leading ball carriers, but with these offenses, the tailbacks are the featured guys. But to mix it up, you have to make the defense think about this inside running just to keep them honest so you can bounce it outside with the running backs.
The I formation again. There's Taylor along the left side, fighting through tackles. He's going to pick up great yardage, 7 yards in fact. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 in the Cibolo Steele red zone. And at 3rd and 6, we've already seen them go for it and convert on a 3rd and 9 on the ground. You got to think all options are open to him.
Well, you almost have to think the way this game is going, fourth down is always going to be an option. So you just want to make something out of what you can here in this down and distance. But I really think here effectively, these quarterbacks, including Huddleston here, he's been effective outside of the pocket, getting out on the edge and making a high-low read, making it really easy for him to get rid of the ball.
2 men in the backfield with Huddleston. They will give it to Taylor right up the middle. The Steele defense is there. He's not going anywhere close to the first down. 4 yards, but he's still going to be 2 yards short on the play. The Steele defense, after looking a little shell-shocked in the first half, has really responded to the physical run game for Katy, and they're trotting out the kicking team.
It's been impressive. The transformation from that second quarter, or excuse me, from the first quarter to the second quarter is unbelievable, and even till now, they've just been able to get in there. Great job by the defensive coaching staff of the Knights to get them adjusted on our first field goal attempt here.
And it's Manny Mendoza, who puts this one up and through for a 31-27 lead. His 7th field goal of the year, 7 on 9 attempts. And that was a big field goal, LD, because it puts him up 2 scores.
Yeah, and especially the way this game's going and the way these defenses are still playing tough. That's pretty tough. We're winding down here in the third quarter. A lot of football left to be played.
We do have 10 seconds left now in the third quarter, as these two teams still duking it out, looking for a shot at the state title game. For a guy we talked about so much in the pregame, Braylon McCollum, not going to throw the ball every time, but that seems to be where they've been most successful, is with that strong-arm kid looking down the field. They just haven't looked for the deep ball very much in the second half compared to what they did in the second quarter and first.
Well, I think he's done a great job coming in and taking it upon himself. And you know, you ask the question, you know, as a quarterback, when your offense is struggling, you know, what do? Just go out and make plays. And that's what McCollum has done. He has taken upon himself. I'm going to get the open receiver. I'm going to put the ball out on him. And now to tell you, that just feeds over into your entire offense and into your entire team. And that's why they're playing a lot better than what we saw and really into a dogfight here.
So Mendoza, just after his field goal, is going to line up for the kickoff here. As they have all day, Cibolo Steele will bring out Justin Stockton and Jordan Stearns. Another short kick. This one will be caught at the 18-yard line and ambitiously returned, but the Katy special teams unit would have none of it. The return was brought down after a 3-yard loss in the return. L.G. Williams there. And Steele's going to start at its own 15-yard line as we have 4 seconds left in the third quarter.
They've had success. Open it up on first down, staying ahead. That is their MO. They've got to stay ahead of the chains. And their running game has started to pick up as well. They've been able to have a nice mix of outside running, getting in between the guards and the center.
This should be our only play of the third quarter as we head to what's going to be a fantastic finish. Collin in the shotgun. Pump fake to the left. He's looking deep, but there's no one there, and he's running for his life. Goes over the top. Oh, and caught by Thaddeus Thompson. An incredible adjustment to the ball over the top of Kyle Folks. And he's dragged out of bounds at the 41-yard line after a 26-yard gain. Folks, that's where we'll be as we head towards the fourth quarter with Katy up 31-27 in the 5A D2 state semifinals at Waco's Floyd Casey Stadium. The Katy Tigers and our Region 4 combatant, the Cibolo Steele Knights from north of San Antonio. We have a 1st and 10 Cibolo Steele at their own 41-yard line at the start of the fourth. At the start of the fourth, it's number 4, Justin Stockton, pushing his way out to the 45-yard line, a gain of 4 to bring up a 2nd and 6. LD, you and I were talking about how crucial and interesting this fourth quarter is for these two teams.
Well, you look at it, both these teams really haven't had to have their starters play late in the fourth quarter in quite some time, especially Katy, the way they destroyed last week, and it's going to come interesting. The energy level, can they, endurance-wise, keep it up?
That pass batted away deep down the middle. They were looking for, looks like the big tight end, Matt Bowen, and the Katy defense converges quickly. Yeah, that's going to bring up 3rd and 6.
Well, that's probably a pass he wish he had back. 4 Katy defenders back there defending the pass. There's got to be somebody else open. And if the offensive coordinator can spot that, if he's up here where we are, you got to come back to that at some point in time. You had guys running wide open downfield.
Thaddeus Thompson's had a big second half. Their big 6'2" wideout. Matt Maley's been quiet after his strong first half. Maley will be on the right side, and they'll put Thompson on the left. And Justin Stockton will be split out in the backfield next to McCollum. And that pass is going to come up short on the left side, short and outside to Thaddeus Thompson. Pass was there, but McCollum was under some pressure. Dragged down, that's going to be a 4th down. And Steele's probably going to have to punt this ball away.
Jet route just took a little bit too long to develop, and they were trying to get a post corner route to the wide side of the field, man-to-man on the outside with Thaddeus Thompson up against Kyle Fultz. McCollum just didn't have enough time to get a good pass out there.
Isaiah Brown and Rodney Anderson set back to receive on the punt. But so far, Braylon McCollum has given them absolutely nothing to return. That is not by accident. They want either of those guys getting a full head of steam. McCollum boots this one to the left side. Now will bounce out of bounds. Roughly the 25-yard line as the refs will decide to spot it. A little further than that. At about the 27. This is a big-time drive for Katy now, LB. Up by 4. They can get in the end zone here. The game's not over, but it's going to put an enormous amount of pressure on the Steele offense to strike quickly.
Yeah, you like the idea of being up 11 points, and 4 points Steele can get you beat with a Steele score. So this is critical in the sense of opening the game back up into your favor to where you force the offense of the Steele Knights to have to go into almost a hurry-up pass mode, and that's where your defense can really flourish in that regard.
And Steele comes down in man coverage. But Katy will hand it off to Taylor, who's met rudely before he breaks that tackle. He'll push out for an 8-yard gain. That was his 30th carry of the day. Now up to 163 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. He was about 400 yards shy of the school record single season coming in.
Well, this is just a straight handoff there, and he takes a blow and absorbs it very well, and then bounces outside and gets to the next level of the defense.
And he's dragged down by Josh Malin. Taking a look at Rodney Anderson now, 4 carries for 23 yards. He's in the backfield, and Huddleston will send a man in motion. He's looking deep as well. There's the throw. And it's caught! Oh, no, it's incomplete. Incomplete. Almost hauled in, but as the wide receiver went to the ground, Andy Coonrod, the ball bounced away, and disaster averted for Steele.
Well, Huddleston actually misses a receiver right here underneath. And number 42, Alex Fisher, was open, but he decides to go deep. And this was almost a great play, almost double clutched it. It's a pretty good matchup on the outside. You're going against a very good corner, or good safety, I should say, in Jordan Stearns.
Coonrod came into the day with just 4 catches. He went head-to-head with the Oklahoma State pledge, Jordan Stearns, at safety. Now on 3rd and 2. It's Anderson, who breaks a tackle on the left side. He's out to the 50-yard line, and he will be pushed out of bounds, or at least huddled up in a rugby scrum after a 24-yard gain. And they'll mark him down at the Steele 43. Steele defenders in on that play. But Anderson showing a little bit of that speed and explosion that makes him such a tantalizing talent.
Well, toss sweep to the outside. He just makes his cutoff of which way Alex Fisher is going to block. And once he does that, there's nobody else home because the quarterback takes himself out of the play. Next thing you know, he's automatically in the secondary. And, I watched him today. You look at Anderson, got some deceptive speed. He doesn't look like he's running away from people, or running all fast, moving by his feet, but he is pulling away from some defenders.
And now Taylor's back in the backfield in the strong eye. That looks like a busted play, and Huddleston's going to try and make something of it. There's nothing there, but he's going to throw this ball away and out of bounds. Looked like they were trying to get that to the running back in the backfield, but the fullback and the running back split different directions. There was no one there to get the ball to.
Now, anytime you make a throw that's not to the other team, it's still a good throw, and I think that's a good decision in the sense there. Huddleston not trying to force its issue there. Limping a little bit. Kind of a little gimpy this game. He's a warrior. He's still a gamer out there.
Still the 1 touchdown pass in the day for Huddleston, though. They'll step under center for 2nd and 10. Steele is up in press coverage again. And it's Taylor along the left side, and he is tackled for a 1st down right at the marker. A gain of 10 yards, and L.D. Huddleston's clearly not right. As he turned around for the handoff, he was already coming up lame on the ankle.
Yeah, you know, it's one thing if you're back there in the shotgun, you can stand back there and move, but watch him come out from the center quarterback exchange, and he's on one foot. But with this offense, the quarterback has to move to get the ball in the right position for the tailback to get it awfully deep and make his cuts. So somebody to keep an eye on. Can he still, you know, be tough and man the game here and be a gamer?
That's his left ankle. Remember, he was also nursing an injured left shoulder earlier today. So that whole side of his body, he's got to feel like it's covered in fire ants right now. He's fighting through it. Taylor in the backfield. They'll go to him again. Once again, steps over the top of a tackle for a gain of 5. And they'll mark him down at about the Steele 29-yard line.
Just such a disciplined team in the sense that all their guys block to the whistle blows. And if you look from a wide shot of where we're standing here, Travis, you see the receivers downfield just chicken fighting. That's what a lot of coaches used to call it, chicken fighting down there. And that's what they do. And that's allow these open, long runs later in the ball games normally would break a game open.
It's really a numbing offense. It really pounds you into submission. They've gone to that run game a lot in the second half. They'll split Anderson way to the left side, and they'll run Taylor that direction. 2 great blocks, and there goes Anderson. 1 man to beat, and a heavy tackle at about the 8-yard line. Taylor slipped down, a gain of 19 yards. Jordan Stearns was there. Say not on this side of the end zone, not on this play.
Oh, it's some hitting going on out there. This is their bread and butter play, just trying to stretch the defense out, create running lanes there for Taylor.
Alex Fisher, the fullback for Katy, had a heck of a block on the left side. That play is a 2-yard gain without Fisher in there.
You're exactly right. He has been the catalyst in their running game today, and really the 5 guys up front, including the tight ends, Sloan Spiller and company have done an excellent job blocking.
It's the Wildcat, and it's Anderson over the left side, and they'll give him about half a yard. And it's going to bring up 2nd and goal from about the 8-yard line as we tick towards the 8-minute mark of the 4th quarter with Katy still up by 4. A field goal here would give you a touchdown margin, but the touchdown under 8 minutes to play, possibly 7 minutes to play if we get to that point, would make this an 11-point game, possibly, in a very tough field for Steele.
Yeah, and I think these Tigers are smelling blood literally, trying to get the ball into the end zone. They can do that. You gotta like your chances setting your defense up to bring you home.
Huddleston will hand off to Taylor, fighting through tackles to the right side and drag down at about the 3-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 3. We've seen a lot of teams run the ball here as of late. But Katy can still get a play action on this 9-play, 69-yard drive and find the end zone, but you got to think with Huddleston banged up, the ground game has to be the choice.
Yeah, it's going to be awfully tough for him to be mobile enough to get out on the edge. That would be my play call. I agree with you there, Travis. But you got to go with what got you down here. And that's handing the ball deep back there to Mr. Adam Taylor, number 28.
Perhaps most importantly, as we take a timeout, it's a 4-minute drive. Katy leads 31-27 at the 7-minute mark of the 4th quarter. We'll take a break. When we come back, the answer to what will be a 10-play drive for the Katy Tigers.
The temper's overflowing, and there's a fight.
Minutes left to play in the 4th quarter. At Waco's Floyd Casey Stadium, looking to put a nail in a black and silver coffin. And it's to Anderson, sweep on the left side, and he's in for the touchdown! Rodney Anderson, a sweep along the left side. The Tigers have hit pay dirt, and they may be looking at an 11-point lead at the 7:05 mark of the 4th.
What a block, Travis, by Adam Taylor to cap it off. And you talking about one of the most unselfish players. He's been the leading ball carrier, but he's going to take care of his underclassman buddy back there. Look at that block there by Taylor. Absolutely destroys Carl Cunningham. Katy flexes muscles.
PAT is up and good. That will make this 38-27. We'll take a second look at the play here as Anderson heads to his left. Taylor was in on the block as was the fullback, who seems like his name has been called on every other play. But they just get Carl Cunningham on skates. There's not a whole lot a cornerback can do against a fullback first, then a big-bodied running back going to Nebraska, and then finally Rodney Anderson, one of the top sophomores in Texas.
Well, there's definitely nothing you could do. And how about the offensive line and the movement that they've been getting here in this second half? They've established themselves back up front. And when they absolutely need to get 4 yards in a cloud of dust, they do the toss sweep to the left side of the line of scrimmage, and it is worked to perfection, capping it off with the touchdown there.
That is statement stuff. 10 plays, 72 yards, and 4 minutes off the clock. Take a look at the drive recap. Rodney Anderson doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Taylor with a big gain down the left side, and then capped it off with Rodney Anderson's emotional rushing touchdown to the left. And LD, Katy has gone to those little toss sweeps time and time again. And Steele has been in great position, but this is just on actually both sides really, but especially on that drive. Blocking and tackling 101 from the Tigers in the fourth quarter.
That's exactly right. And they've taken away the ability by the defense of the Knights to come in there and crash that toss sweep. You know, we saw that in the second quarter. We said, wow, look at Steele. They've figured something out. They're running a guy in the backfield. Well, they've taken that away as far as Katy blocking it better outside and up front.
So now Manny Mendoza kicking off for Katy. Stockton and Stearns are back. It's another pooch to the left side. This one will be caught at the 29-yard line. There's really nowhere to go. The returner's pushed out for a gain of about 1. That would be where Steele starts its not quite desperation drive, but we'll call it statement drive. Down by 11 points with 7 minutes left to play at their own 35-yard line against the 14-0 Tigers, a 6-time state champ, with some of the best talent on defense you'll find anywhere in Texas.
Well, I think you're going to let this kid here bring you home. I mean, he's had the hot hand. He's been very efficient today. Look at those stats. That's by far one of his better games the entire season long. Let him bring you home here.
They will go to Stockton first. And oh my heavens, he's got Green. There he goes on the left side. Kyle Folks, the only man who can catch him, and he does. At the Katy 3-yard line, a 62-yard gain from Justin Stockton, the electrifying junior. And he has brought Steele new life into the Katy red zone.
Oh, this is a play of power blocking. They bring the backside guard. That's number 55, Justin Roberts, 6'4", 245. And he makes a great block, and then it turns into a track meet. And how about the effort there by Kyle Folks to run down the 100-meter champion here.
And Steele into the end zone 1 play later. It's Jordan Stearns spinning his way over a tackle on the left side. And just like that, 2 plays later, Steele has made this game 38-33. Wow.
Now, do you go for 2? Do you go ahead and set yourself up to go for 2? Or do you, I mean, if you kick the field goal, you still would be down 2 scores technically.
It all depends on your tolerance, LD.
I think you go ahead and try to, I think you go ahead and try to go for 2. That way, you make it a 1-score game once again.
The old adage is you don't chase points. But with 6:41 left, there's not a whole lot of time left to chase. And it does appear that Steele will go for 2 with McCollum and Stockton in the backfield with LG ahead of them. That's what they're going to do. McCollum will roll to his right. He's got Stockton alone. Oh, and it's off his fingertips. Oh, McCollum had to lay a touch pass over the top of the Katy defense. It was a hair short. Stockton can't hold on. And Katy will get this ball back up 5 now with 6:41 left to go, and Steele needing a stop.
Well, that's the advantage of having outstanding defensive ends on defense. Even though they can't get to the quarterback and make the sack, they're so tall and long that they raise up and make that pass a lot harder than what it really should have been.
The staff has a word with Justin Stockton as he comes off the field. The kid's had such a great game, you can't fault him for that.
Man, he has. He has been outstanding from the time that he was really bottled up in the first quarter. The second quarter, he started to open it up a little bit. And we've just seen a little bit of all. We saw how fast he is once he can get that sideline. And
so 65 yards in 24 seconds brings Steele back within possession. And LD, this really goes without saying, but this has been a spectacular football game with 2 of the best teams anywhere. And honestly, I'll say it, not just Texas, the country.
You know, I agree with you. I mean, there's not often that you have 2 undefeated teams this late in the playoffs, mind you, still going and have a chance to go to the state championship. It is just mind-boggling, the history of these programs. Obviously, Katy's got a lot longer history than Steele. But in the last 4 seasons, 5 seasons or more, these two teams have been the two premier teams in the state of Texas.
At least in Division II. What's really incredible is that 38-33. I feel like both of these defenses have actually played pretty well.
I agree. They have. They forced the issue, and it's been just some outstanding offensive 3rd and 4th down conversions that have extended drives and just big-time plays. You can't fault the defense of that. That's going to happen when you play good teams.
Oh, danger on the kickoff. That ball bobbled by Katy and then hauled back in, and that would have been disaster. Luke Nelson, actually Kyle Porter will recover that. Here's the winner of the other 5A D2 state semifinal at Cedar Hill over Austin Westlake, 31-28. So your winner here will take on the Cedar Hill Longhorns, a team that started the season 1-40 and has now powered their way into the state championship game. That one will be at Arlington's Cowboy Stadium on Saturday, a week from today, at 4 p.m. Now Katy takes over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line with 6:38 to play. It's Taylor, dragged down by Josh Malin after a gain of 7. Garth Tubbs also in the area. Man, for a junior, Josh Malin, the defensive end, has had a heck of a ball game. So far, Adam Taylor, arguably the best player on the field out of the team.
Yeah, he's stuck, and he's been really running harder and harder as the game goes along, and he really hasn't let up. And this defense is really up for the challenge, but they just have not been able to really slow him down much today.
Kyle Folks, the only wide receiver, split out wide. All the other big bodies kept it close to the center. And a sneaky inside handoff from Katy. That's great yardage. Out to the Katy 42-yard line, a gain of 10 to Rodney Anderson. Tricky. They haven't shown that one today.
That's an old school trap play. Watch this. Pull that backside guard. Then Scrivenet there, getting to the edge, and that creates that little gash there. Anderson can get up in there. A lot of creativity up front by the offense.
Roy Russell, the reserve, has played a little bit of everything today, in on the tackle. Now it's 1st and 10 as Huddleston's under center. Ankle again giving him trouble, but he will hand it off. He'll push forward for about 4 yards. It's Adam Taylor again. If this game keeps progressing at this rate, and they get another 6 or 7 plays on this drive, he's going to be right at 40 carries for the day.
Yeah, that's a pretty good workload, to say the least. And, he was our featured player coming in. And, I felt coming into today, although Anderson has had an outstanding game as well, I think the load is going to be on this kid's shoulders here. And that's exactly what it is today. You lean on your senior workhorse. Literally, he has been the workhorse in this offense. And very well could carry this team into another state championship final.
A lot of movement right at the snap, and Steele will jump that snap, and they're in the backfield. Garth Tubbs will trip up Adam Taylor, who's dragged down for no gain. That's going to bring up about 3rd and 6. Katy sideline thought it was offsides, but no flag. And both crowds now coming alive, especially Cibolo Steele, as they know their Knights desperately need a stop here to keep alive their odds at a D2 state title game next week.
How much would you like to have a mobile, healthy quarterback at this moment in time to move the pocket, to get out on the edge?
Huddleston will play fake. He's looking to the left, and that is caught. A huge 1st down conversion by Katy. Down to the Steele 38-yard line, a 12-yard gain. Looks like tight end Sloan Spiller on the pickup. We just talked about how, man, it sure would be great for Katy to have a quarterback who can move around a little bit. Huddleston buys some time and hits Spiller.
I've been impressed. Huddleston is a warrior. He stays in there, and a quarterback's best friend is a pass-catching tight end, because tight ends are the biggest targets. They're underneath, and Spiller does a nice job sitting softly in the zone to where his quarterback can find him.
Spiller, one of the top receivers on the team, coming into this one. We'll go back to the bread and butter. It's Taylor. He abuses the Steele defense, and he's brought down for a gain of about 9. That's going to be right at the 1st down marker. You have to give a lot of credit to the Steele defense. They've seen Taylor again and again and again. They have actually done a pretty good job keeping him in check, all things considered.
Boy, they have. And they continue to fight and get in there, fight, claw, tooth and nail. And trying to do all they can. And at some point in time, does the defensive coordinator call up a run blitz? Do you sell out even more, but then you set yourself up for a pass over the top? So it's a slippery slope there. But right now, they're hanging in tough.
And the refs will measure this. And it looks like they're going to be about a link short on this one. If that's even a link, that's half a link. That's going to be about second down in a millimeter, if even that. With the clock sitting at 3:33 now, time becoming a serious factor for these Steele Knights.
You can't say enough about this kid here. I mean, just coming in, banged up, got a bad shoulder, got a bad wheel. Still finds a way to get it done. And these are the types of things that, you know, I talk about character quite often, and this is a character builder. He's a junior, so right now he's got an opportunity to lead this team and advance them here back into a state final.
Katy brings on big tight end Logan Lister to cap the end of the line. There is a lot of bulk in the trenches on this 2nd and 1. Huddleston makes some checks at the line and sends a man in motion. Another inside handoff, and it's Alex Fisher, the fullback, bruising his way down to the Steele 18-yard line on an 11-yard gain. It'll be 1st and 10, and the clock now will tick underneath 3 minutes.
I think everybody in the stadium, included in the state watching this game today, thought number 28, Adam Taylor, was surely going to get that ball. But there's that bone again to the fullback, Fisher, who's been really your blocking savant, so to speak, in this game. Makes a huge conversion there for the Tigers to keep the chains moving.
2 of those inside handoffs now in this drive alone have been effective for the Tigers. But this time Huddleston will go to Taylor. The Steele defense rises to meet him, but not after a gain of 4. That's going to bring up 2nd and 6. At about the Steele 15.
Got a banged up offensive lineman. That's big number 65, Kyle Miller, 5'9", 265 senior. Got another offensive line down as well, so we've got 2 of them. That's John Kellogg, the center.
He's had a great game so far.
Oh, he has been phenomenal. He's matched up head-to-head against Corey Stroud. We haven't really called him much today, and number 50, Mason Martinez.
Both players are moving, arms and legs, just a little banged up. And after how heavy hitting this game has been today, LD, if you're an offensive lineman, you've got to be a little low on fumes.
It's been a physical contest, not only with the big guys in the trenches. The outside skill guys have been banging as well. You see receivers going downfield. We've said that a number of times. We've seen the defensive backs come up and make some big-time hits.
Miller up and walking with a little bit of assistance, but John Kellogg has not put any weight on his ankle. It does not look like we will see him again today. So the Katy offensive line at an inopportune time, all of a sudden down a man, and it's 2nd and 7. We would think if the Tigers can work their way to another 1st down here, it's going to put Steele in some serious dire straits.
Let's see what they do for the offensive line. Kyle Miller, who also got carried off, was the backup center. Now they're going to have to bring big number 73 in, Jared Gonzalez, and move him to one of the guard positions.
They'll go to the left side this time, and it's Taylor, who's met hard at about the 12-yard line and will stretch his way down to the 10. A gain of 4 on the play. Cibolo Steele will take a timeout, as Katy's going to have a 3rd and 3 with 2 minutes left to go. Timeout's becoming critical now. Cibolo Steele has 2 left.
Well, I think you have to sell out here. I think you have to do everything you can to try to prevent this 1st down and, you know, at least force a field goal opportunity, because, you know, you figure here a 1st down literally may very well salt away your timeouts, and the score certainly puts it in dire straits. So this is critical here for a 3rd down conversion here.
This has been a masterful drive by the Tigers. 9 plays, 61 yards. It has taken 4 minutes and 31 seconds off the clock. That is their 2nd 4-minute drive that has at least been partially contained within this 4th quarter. This ground game offense has just pummeled the clock, something that Steele could not afford this late in the game.
Yeah, and they really haven't hit their stride, and really to say that they average 343 yards rushing per game. They're getting awfully close, if I'm not mistaken. They're getting close. I believe they're 313. Yeah, so getting back to what they've done. They struggled a little bit in that 1st half, but man, they have I don't know if you say championship drives, but this may very well be it here for the Tigers.
To Steele's credit, they are now the only team that Katy has seen all season to crack the 100-yard mark rushing and passing in the same game. Huddleston under center on 3rd and 2. It will be Taylor as it's been all day. And like it's been all day, he gives them another first down, a crucial one at the 2:04 mark, and Steele's going to have to burn another timeout. With 2 minutes left and only 1 timeout left in the bank, this is backs against the wall time for Steele.
Well, that's huge there. And you know, this is it. I mean, that's puts almost in the driver's seat. They're not even going to burn the timeout. The clock is running here.
They definitely had 2 left. They're down to 1 now. Interesting. The clock, you're right, is still running on the big scoreboard. Katy will line up in another power formation. No one split out wide this time. Taylor again, bouncing off tacklers into the end zone. Adam Taylor. Another rushing touchdown for the record-setting Tiger. What an effort from that kid today. And Katy takes a 44-33 lead with the extra point pending and precious little time remaining.
They go to a makeshift offensive line, and you see big number 73, the reserve lineman come in. Jared Gonzalez makes the block there and springs him into the end zone. And they just bring him in. When a fallen comrade falls down, they bring in another player, roll him in, and this kid has relished today in the spotlight, taking this team on his back.
41 carries, 232 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Adam Taylor against one of the best rushing defenses in Texas. The Steele defense now on the sidelines just looks exhausted.
You can't fault them. For the way they played today, you know, your heart goes out to them because they played with every single ounce of whatever they had to play today. And they stuck it out to the very end. And they're going to, obviously, with Coach Jinks and his staff, they're going to coach this for the last 139 left in this game. But I'm so impressed by both of these squads as well. But Cibolo and Steele there, wow, that's a great effort. Just tough for going against that machine there of the Tigers.
Katy has rushed the ball 56 times today for 323 yards. Taylor's got the lion's share of that. Now, all that said, LD, there is still time left. If Steele can get a quick score here and an onside kick, they're only down by 12. As we go down to Greg Tepper.
Guys, I'm here on the Katy sideline, and you know this is a team that really takes on the stoicism of its coach, Gary Joseph. Well, when Adam Taylor broke that plane, you would have thought Katy landed on the moon. This bench erupted, every single one of them. Even Kellogg, the center who went down, was laying on the ground, getting treatment on his knee, and he started cheering. It was a big moment over here.
Mendoza's kick is away. Thank you, Greg. That's going to be fumbled out of bounds at the 22-yard line for Steele. That takes a return opportunity off the board. And the Knights will this time start their desperation drive at their own 22-yard line with 1:39 left and 1 timeout.
Yeah, all those pass plays for this offense that are listed at the bottom of the play sheet, well, they quickly get moved up to the top here because this is where you got to go get it. And if you have any kind of 3-4 wide receiver sets, well, this is the time to pull it out. Try to attack this defense, but the caveat to that is big number 94 down there, Matt Diamond, be licking his chops here.
Quinn Atwood out in the secondary. Isaiah Brown, Kyle Fulk, speedsters all against the Steele offense. A short route out to the left side. That ball is caught and pushed forward for about a gain of 6 by Jalen Harris. The clock is running now at 1:28, and Steele's going to have to move quickly.
Yeah, you'd like to see him run out of bounds in that instance, and that's kind of a youthful play. Only a sophomore, Jalen Harris, not understanding the essence of the game at this moment in time.
2 wide receivers out for Steele at the 1:11 mark. Flags everywhere as Katy's defensive lineman, Cody Gessler, pushes into the backfield. That will go against Katy. So some free yards for Cibolo Steele, and it gives him a chance to talk over the strategy for the drive briefly.
You'd like to see a little bit more hastiness in this offense. There's still time. You got to get a little bit quicker up to the line of scrimmage, and I'm really surprised at this moment in time that they've gone back to huddling. This is where you need to get to the line, call your play. Generally, the offense would have 1 or 2 plays on, depending on what the defense is doing.
They call him in the backfield. as the clock starts to wind. They will give it to LG Williams, who's looking to throw. Katy's all over it. That ball's over the top of the head of wide receiver. No flags. Well defensed by the Tiger defense. Isaiah Brown in coverage. And now Steele with a minute left to go. Still needs 10 yards for another first down and to stay alive.
Well, that didn't fool Isaiah Brown at all there. Their top interception player. 10 interceptions on the season. I don't think he's going to go sleep back there at all.
So 2nd and 10 now for Steele with 2 wide receivers split out. Justin Stockton in the backfield. McCollum takes the straight drop. He's got Maley on the left side, but he is tackled inbounds on an 8-yard gain. So the clock continues to run for a 3rd and 2.
You got to get up to the offensive. You got to get to the line. Get set. Wait for the official to set the ball down. You need to already have that play called right now. Every second is so precious. Now it's under 40 seconds. A lot of time just wasted there.
McCollum again on the right side, caught by Thaddeus Thompson, who will stretch out for a first down at the Steele 45-yard line for a gain of 8. Be a first down, getting close to end zone range for a heave, but the clock is the worst enemy for the Knights right now. 28 seconds left, and the Steele Knights will call their last timeout.
You had to think if you could have gotten to the offensive line quickly enough and got set by the time the chains got set, you could have maybe saved a timeout because the clock stops with the first down conversion.
Show us some heart though, LB.
Yeah.
This is just outside the normal parameters for the Steele offense. A, they haven't really been in this position since months ago. And 2, this run-based offense typically is not in a hurry-up mode. Even in this position, down by 12 with 30 seconds left, and still 2 wide receivers and not 4 or 5, like most teams would do. Tough adjustment.
It is a tough adjustment, and you're exactly right from an offensive standpoint. You know, they may not be even equipped to go out and start slinging the football all over the place, and you know, they got a quarterback that's got a great arm. And it's one of those situations that, you know, hey, it is go time. And whatever you do, you got to do it hurry. Get up to the offensive line and make your calls and get going.
So with no more timeouts, Steele takes the field 1st and 10 with 28 seconds left. Everything pretty much has to be out of bounds here.
Yeah,
get this clock stopped.
Definitely can't get tackled here in the middle of the field.
McCollum pursued by the defense, caught by Maley, who will squeak out of bounds for a first down at about the Katy 44 to 43-yard line. LD at this point might have one more time to get one more shot to get a little bit closer, but then you're going to have to start looking for the end.
Yeah, you're going to have to at some point in time. That's a pretty good timing route to the outside. Maley has been their most effective receiver, he and Thaddeus Thompson. But I figured you only have a couple of more here. Just to get in range to maybe take a heave to the end zone. Whatever you do, you got to do it quickly.
Maley can be dangerous deep. They will split Justin Stockton out wide. Man playing way off of Maley.
We have time to get it down there.
They'll go short again to Stockton, who gets up a block from Maley, and he'll run out of bounds for a 5-yard gain, about the Katy 37-yard line. 19 seconds left on the clock. It's going to bring up 2nd and 4.
Well, this is very well here. You've got a shot. You can obviously. The factor is he going to have enough time to maybe heave it deep enough? Or do you take another little short intermediate dunk about 5 to 10 yards, try to chip away?
Defense has 4 men 20 yards off the line of the scrimmage. McCollum throws deep, and it's intercepted. And that will do it. Colin Wilder, a freshman for Katy, back in coverage, picks off the pass as McCollum is drilled. And the Katy Tigers are going back to the 5A Division II state title game. There's a man down on the field for Steele. Lots of people coming out to check on both sides now.
Well, this is just a desperation. He's trying to hit Justin Stockton going upside, and hopefully he could just outrun the cornerback. But he's got a safety over the top, just hanging out, playing center field. And the freshman comes up and makes the play that closes this game here.
Still trying to see who is down and injured for Cibolo Steele. It's quarterback Braylon McCollum, who took a colossal shot on that desperation heave. But he is up and walking off the field. And with 10 seconds left, Steele down by 12 and no timeouts. That's going to do it. Katy will improve to 15-0. They will play next week, Saturday, at 4 p.m. against Cedar Hill, who downed Austin Westlake today for what could be their 7th state title.
Well, you definitely can't fault the effort there for the team in the black jerseys. They laid it out all on the line today. This was literally a heavyweight matchup between two teams that have dominated postseason play this season, have dominated their entire year, in fact. And I hate to see either one of these teams lose, but that's why we play the game. And Texas high school football is as good as it gets.
Huddleston will take a knee in the victory formation. Time is ticked away. Zeros on the clock. The Katy fans in celebration as the two teams line up to congratulate each other on LD, one of the better games I've seen in a good long time. Two hard-fighting teams. Classy stuff from both teams today. When we come back, we'll recap the action as Katy wins 45-33 over Cibolo Steele in the 5A D2 state semifinals.